citizens make Arkansas's 4th District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
The Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is ultimately all about fun. So is the new Ultimate Riches Scratch-Off ticket. It's loaded with over $3 million in prizes of $100 or more, all the way up to the ultimate prize, $200,000. You could be the first to win it all. Try the Ultimate Riches Scratch-Off game new this October at local lottery retailers. Have fun. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, just an outside chance of seeing a shower or two across the north. Otherwise, increasing sunshine. A high today into the middle 80s. Later tonight, mainly clear and overnight low right around 60. Wednesday, sunshine. A high in the middle to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we're not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
Number one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hi, good morning, and welcome into halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. It's a gorgeous Tuesday. We're happy to be with you here today. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston in the studios. Colton Little will be along later. And we'll take you for the next 3 hours here on your favorite midday radio program. On the show today, a wide open first hour. We'll start getting your calls and texts in about 15 minutes. Alyssa Orange, Pig Trail Nation, hour number 2. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio at about 1:15. Good morning, Matt Jones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How's it going today, man? Feeling good?
Happy Tuesday, man. It's game week. It's not going to be easy. You get 12 opportunities each year, and this would be opportunity number 7, I believe. 7 or 8, but Mississippi State week, this is the biggest game of the year, Phil. Not just about marquee or just about the name on the lights, but it's a conference game. It's a SEC game, and you're trying to get to 6. I think it's a must-win game. I do. I think it's the biggest game of the year. And Mississippi State's, their last couple weeks, they've been playing better. I mean, it's going to be a game where you're going to have to show up, play all 4 quarters, have 0 turnovers.
You played a team that had won 5 in a row coming into Razorback Stadium this past Saturday. They made it 6 in a row. Now you're facing a team that's in the other direction. 6 straight losses for Mississippi State. And, pretty much guaranteed no bowl game in Jeff Lebby's first year. They have a victory over Eastern Kentucky. The same week Arkansas defeated UAPB, but they haven't beaten an FBS program yet. That's what you were saying, Matt. This is game 8 game 7 against an FBS program. But they've hung tough with some teams there. 7-point loss to Arizona State. Hung tough against Florida. Hung tough against Georgia. On the road, too, in Athens. By the way, scoring 31 points as an opponent at Sanford Stadium, that does not happen very often. I do think that the last touchdown was one of those, you could call it a garbage touchdown. Last minute, you're already down 17 points, but points are points, and 31's a tough number for Arkansas to get to. And that's what I'm looking at here. You get a team that in SEC play, Matt, is averaging 24 points a game in Mississippi State offensively. Arkansas right now has the 3rd lowest scoring average against SEC teams of any other SEC club, 17.5 points a game, struggling to get to 20. And I feel like you're probably going to have to get into the mid-20s or maybe even the high 20s, maybe even the 30s. Against Mississippi State, because they can score a little bit. You put 55 points against Georgia and A&M, and we haven't seen the Georgia defense up close the way we did A&M. That Aggies defense shut Arkansas down, Matt. So I think Arkansas is going to need more than the 10 they had against LSU. May need more than the 19 they had against Tennessee.
Yeah, it's a beautiful opportunity. This offense, they've kind of been going backwards, so to speak, and. You can say what you want, but you play Texas A&M, you play Tennessee, you play LSU. Sometimes that can happen. That you're not going to go out there and score 34 points when you're playing those 3 teams consecutively. But the offense has to pick it up. I think they'll be the first to tell you. If you talk to the coaching staff, you talk to the players, unacceptable. 10 points at home. You're not gonna beat anybody in the SEC scoring 10 points at home. And so going on the road. You got to think Mississippi State's going to find a way to score a couple of touchdowns. I'm with you. This might be the first shootout game where it's like a 35-34 type of game. I could see the teams going back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, where's one of those been? Really haven't had one. I guess you could say the Oklahoma State game had a little bit of that quality to it, but yeah, I thought we might have had a few more of those back and forth, kind of crazy, getting into the high 30s sort of games. I did think this offense would put up some points. I still think that there's room to grow. I mean, you've seen Taylon Green become a more accurate passer, I think, in the last couple of weeks. The growth at wide receiver, I think, Isaiah Satania a little bit. Still needing other players to maybe step up at that position and maybe get a little more usage out of the tight end. And you're going into this game against State, Matt, with fewer running backs than I think you've had healthy for a game. Doesn't sound like Jackson's going to play. Haven't had Hill for a couple of weeks. Barely seen Terrell Reed. So it feels like this game, if you're going to run it, and you still have to be able to run it, and you can against Mississippi State, it's coming down to Rashad Dubinion, who I'm assuming is just absolutely itching to get back out there after last Saturday's fumble, and freshman Braylon Russell, who hasn't really had to carry the load for a game yet, but it sounds like he might have to this week.
Yeah, and I loved what I saw out of Broden. He was going up and making catches, so that can be another element to the game. Nobody stopped Armstrong yet. I don't think Mississippi State's going to do it. Need to get Armstrong in the end zone. I mean, I know it's an individual thing, and you just want to get wins, but you got to find a way to get Armstrong in the end zone. And I'm a Russell fan. The thing about a young running back, and not that he can't run the ball, it's the pass protection. It's some of the audibles. It's just catching up to everything because you're learning a new playbook, and running backs have a lot. You have to decipher a lot in pass protection. It could be one of two guys a lot of times, and you got to read, who's blitzing, who's going out. So there's a lot of stuff in that pass protection that hopefully he should have it by now. Coach Nutt used to always say after the first conference game, freshmen can't be freshmen anymore. You got to kind of learn the offense, and Russell seems to be doing that, man. I'd love to see Russell have 25 touches this game. Let's see what he can do with 25 touches.
I think it's funny too because you look at so many of these freshmen got to school in January, so yeah, they're not really freshmen.
It is different now. Yeah, they're up there a lot earlier now.
One of the things that does make me anxious about this game, it's like during the baseball season, I'll look at Bubba, or even when Rick was doing the broadcast with me, and look at somebody who's, they're like 0 for their last 24, 2 for their last 38 or something like that, and the next thing I hear from them is that means, well, they're due. You talk about playing the percentages. If there's a percentage at all, that means that there has been a little bit of success somewhere down the line. And Mississippi State against FBS team right now, Matt, has a big fat 0 for a winning percentage against FBS teams. And you feel like sooner or later, there's going to be one along the way. This is not a team that has let go of that proverbial rope. It's Jeff Lebby's first season. They're improving. They've gotten better in the last 2-3 weeks, much better. They're going to win a game at some point. I don't think they're going 0-8. And you look at who they got coming up the rest of the season, Tennessee, Mizzou, Ole Miss. I think they're going to view this as their best chance to win an SEC game. I bet you get Mississippi State's absolute best effort. I don't just mean because they're at home and it's October. I think they view this game as probably their best opportunity to get an SEC win.
Better show up ready to go. You're right. Mississippi State just played Georgia, and then they played A&M. So it's a little bit of a drop off in talent when you're talking about Georgia, A&M, then Arkansas. So yeah, they'll be thinking that. But I think Arkansas. I hope that we're thinking the same way and not looking ahead to Ole Miss. I
yes,
hope that's the one thing. If we go in there with our heads in the sand, or we're thinking about the Rebels, man, Mississippi State, they're good enough. I think that's what you're saying too. They're good enough to get a victory if we don't show up and play our A game.
Well, my favorite month of sports on the calendar continues here. We've got the NHL season has gotten underway, Matt. The World Series starts Friday. NFL season is really starting to come into form.
Mm-hmm.
The college football season has really taken shape in the last couple of weeks. And the one thing that we're waiting on right now is the NBA season starting, and it starts tonight. You got to be pretty fired up about that. I know you like to watch, but maybe not early in the season because we're more of like
Christmas.
All right,
that's when my NBA starts.
That's
Christmas.
The real opening day.
Yeah, they're just kind of getting their cardio up and running up and down. It's almost like the first day of a golf tournament. You can lose it, but you can't win it on the first day. So they'll just be feeling each other out. Are you excited to see Big Goat and Baby Goat? You got
Can we really call him Baby Goat yet?
Baby Goat.
He's not Goat Junior. We don't even know how good he is.
I wonder if when LeBron retires, if he's still good enough to play. Like if he's still he's an athlete, but he's
Well, we're in this age where athletes make enough money to where they can actually buy a chunk of the team. Like
that's
Tom Brady with
Giannis.
the Raiders.
Giannis has his brother on the team in Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
He's not. His brother's not playing, but you got to keep the superstar happy. It's 100%.
I'm not here to tell you that I think LeBron is going to buy a percentage of the Lakers or anything, but I think he's going to be a partial team owner at some point. Who knows? He's got enough money now where he could throw some money at a franchise and get a little chunk, and very well at that point. Some people think, well, LeBron hired his son. Well, yes and no. Like he's not the GM, he's not the coach and everything, but sooner or later he might be, and then he can actually put his name on the contract with Bronny. Bronny can put his name on the contract on the other side too.
Well, he's a part owner of the Liverpool Reds. He owns a little bit of Liverpool. How does
Bronny's one of those Galacticos for soccer potentially?
Here's what I don't get though, Phil. how can you be in the agent side and then own a team too? Because doesn't he have his Clutch Sports, the whole agency? So it's almost like he's going that route instead of maybe he gets out of it and buys a team. I wouldn't put it past him. But I don't think you're supposed to be able to do both of those things.
Well, I agree too. It's the same thing with Brady and doing these Fox telecasts while you've got percentage of an ownership in the Raiders, and it makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. It's like somebody had texted in yesterday as you asked, who do you think the Yankees are gonna bring back to throw out their ceremonial first pitches? Well, Jeter's got to be one of them, right? But does Jeter still have a little bit of ownership in the Marlins? I mean, he was the team president for 2 or 3 years. Didn't really do very well. I don't think he's got a part ownership in it, but wouldn't that be a little odd? It's like, all right, here's one of our greatest players of all time, maybe probably the best shortstop the Yankees ever had, and let's throw Mr. Marlin out here and throw the ceremonial first pitch today here at Yankee Stadium.
Is Donnie Baseball still alive?
Oh yeah,
I would be,
but he's coaching somewhere. I don't know where.
Okay,
he is.
I was going to say I'd vote for Donnie Baseball.
I mean, he managed the Dodgers and he managed the.
What
Marlins.
about Pedro Martinez? And then you could come out there and say, "Who's your daddy?"
Oh, man. And the ghost of Don Zimmer to follow him out at the same time. That would be an interesting twist plot here, especially just before Halloween as well. We can open things up for you right now as we move throughout hour number 1. Again, no guests until about an hour from now. Calls and texts on halftime come in at 877-377-6963. We'll have some sound from Sam Pittman's press conference yesterday, right after this.
The jerk store called. They're running out of you.
This is Halftime.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. Join me, Phil, and Dr. Charles Liggett every Monday at 12:15 for my favorite segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
My second up, the game plan that he put together, that was fun to watch.
3 Up, 3 Down is presented by River Valley Smile Center. I'm a patient there, and you can be too. Visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give them a call at 479-646-0706. That's River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. Here at ESPN Arkansas, we rely on Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on the radio station when we're not here. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your stuff. Guardtronic, license E50.
If you're interested in continuing your involvement in high school athletics, and want to make some extra money? What better way to do so than by becoming an official? For information on how you can give back to student athletes in Arkansas, please contact us at 501-955-2500. Again, that's 501-955-2500. The Arkansas Activities Association is looking for sports officials, and you may be the answer.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
This song felt a little bit like a protest for the voter initiative that has been removed off the ballot by our Supreme Court. But this is not a political show, so there's no reason to get into that kind of stuff right now. Although I also believe, do we want to play this as Eddie and Clarksville's theme song when he calls in?
I don't know if he likes Josh Homme. He's got.
Does he even know who he is?
That's
Probably
what
didn't even know.
Yeah, he's got his style. I don't know if he gets down. But I think he's pretty accepting of most music, though. Eddie seems like he's got a broad stroke on it. But I don't know if he likes Josh Homme.
Well, the last couple of songs that he quoted here on halftime.
He likes Van Halen.
It was Everything I Do for You by Bryan Adams. We're going love ballads from early 90s Robin Hood movies with the single worst British accent in the history of Hollywood.
He likes Pour Some Sugar on Me. I think he likes that one.
Yeah. I think he just wants something that he can go woo to. That's probably it. 877-377-6963. Ryan in Hot Springs has called us. He does not have any theme music, at least not yet. Ryan, what's up?
Oh, not a whole lot. Y'all were talking about the offense and stuff, and I know it's kind of poor as it went, but I got to say, though, LSU, to a certain degree, took a page out of our book and kind of sat on the ball and just kind of methodically moved down the field.
Mm-hmm.
But
they did it in a different way, though, didn't they, Ryan? They did it in a different way. It's just get a bunch of receivers involved, the quick hitch route. They took what Arkansas gave them. That's where it lies.
But the one thing, though, that I've not seen a whole lot of people talk about what the offense did, and I was proud to finally see it, too, was, you have the way Talon spread the ball around across the field. He got everybody involved, and I think that's going to be very important going forward, and I think if he can do that some more against Mississippi State and grow that passing and spreading the ball around, I look for this offense to get lethal as we move through the rest of the season, and I think that could be a major factor going forward, along with that running game.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. Yeah, and so I think Armstrong only had one reception in the second half. Didn't have a single pass come his way in the fourth. I think he was targeted 4 times in the third quarter. And hey, he caught 7 balls, 6 of them in the first half. So, I don't know exactly what LSU did to take him away a little bit. And I think part of it also was, just a little struggle to find other open receivers. But I think they also targeted Armstrong on that screen pass that Whit Weeks turned into the biggest play of the game. That was tipped in the air and that he intercepted. I feel like Green hasn't locked in on Armstrong as much of late. I mean, he's thrown it to Broden. He's thrown it to Satania. It's just those are really the only two others that are getting much look. They looked at Jordan Anthony a little bit, Matt, and still just not a lot going towards tight ends.
I do like some Jordan Anthony. I think he's only going to get better. Yeah, you got to get back to running the ball. You got to try to keep everybody happy. You take what the defense gives you. And if I'm a team, a D coordinator, I'm not letting you. I'm not making it easy for you to throw it to Armstrong. That's our best player, you know. So you're going to try to do some things and disguise it and make him throw it to somebody else. No question. But I think he's getting. I don't know about you, Phil. I know you get first. You got a firsthand. I mean, you're there. You're watching it from the press box. I think he's getting better each week. I really do. I think Taylon Green is growing each week, and I like what I see. I don't think he has a lot of backward days. Is what I'm like. He keeps progressing and getting better.
Yeah, I didn't see regression. I think progression, like you said, in the last couple of games. 40 completed passes on 58 attempts, 506 yards. Just don't see a lot of scoring strikes, and I think that's one thing that does define this offense for the moment. But here's also Sam Pittman yesterday on Taylon Green's improvement.
I think his confidence is growing in the offense. You know, he's brand new too. Of course, all of them are. But that quarterback position here, playing for Bobby, is very, very difficult. But it's also very, very rewarding once you figure it all out and for your future, going to the NFL, all that kind of stuff. So I think he's becoming more comfortable there. I think we're protecting him a little bit better than what we were early in the year. And I believe he's getting a little more confidence in where his wideouts are going to be. He's throwing the ball a little bit faster than what he did before, and the hanging in the pocket, I think, has a little bit more to it. He's got a little bit more confidence in the guys. We're running a little bit more empty protection as well, and I thought he did a really good job with his hots coming off because they were basically blitzing to our man side. Well, in other words, away from where the center was sliding, which means we have to squeeze down on 1-2, and he saw that really well, got the ball out of his hand.
I mean, this should be a chance to have the best game offensively that Arkansas has had since the Oklahoma State game, Matt, truthfully. I mean, Mississippi State just is not a good defensive team. They are dead last in the SEC in scoring defense, total defense, passing defense, rushing defense. They improved in rushing, in holding A&M down a little bit this last week. I think it was 3.4 yards per carry. They're about averaging over 5 yards a carry against Mississippi State before this last game. So just based on the rankings and what other teams have done against them in this conference, you know, Arkansas should be able to. I think Taylon's improvement can continue this next week, partially based on the opponent, but also partially based on it just looks more comfortable, doesn't he? Which is a little odd to think about somebody that had a bone bruise on his left leg with pass protection that was a little bit leaky at times. But he looked more confident in himself, and I think in what he's doing with the offense, even against LSU.
Yeah, no, he looks better. I'd like to see our defense maybe cause a turnover. Let's try to get to the quarterback. I mean, I'm just picking at I think our defense is doing great. I really that's our best group of guys is our defensive unit. No question. But we didn't get to that LSU quarterback. I mean, we barely hit him, barely touched him at all. Couple when he'd kind of get out the pocket, but we didn't make it stressful for him. I know you talk about pitchers and stressful pitches. I don't think he had a stressful day at the office at all. I mean, a little here and there, but he was kind of doing his thing. Let's get back to doing some of that with Mississippi State causing some havoc. And then adversely, we got to – I don't know what's going on, but one game with 0 turnovers, got to find a way to have a couple games that are clean with no turnovers. I mean, is that – I know it's tough, but like we got to start winning the turnover battle.
That's the thing. It's not necessarily just the idea that Arkansas is turning it over, which they are. I mean, that's
we're not causing a lot either. Yeah,
not causing enough too, and that's part of the identity right now. I think in a loss is that you don't see those big plays defensively. I thought actually the defense played well enough against LSU, without taking too many risks
Man,
they had the 2-yard field for one of those touchdowns. They hold them to 4 field goal attempts.
That's what I was saying. That's big time right there, Phil.
But they didn't get to Nussmeier. Didn't cause a turnover. That's
same thing we didn't do at Oklahoma State either. We didn't get to that quarterback as well.
Exact same thing. Tackled well enough for the most part. Didn't let them get behind you too often. Stayed away from the big play more often than not, but didn't make the big play defensively. And that's becoming a little bit of an identity from the losses, in which there's this 9-1 turnover margin in favor of the opponents, and you can't just look at the 9. You got to look at the 1 too. Defenses has to try. It's not that they're not trying. It's just, and I think they got the athletes to do it. It's just you need some splash plays. When I think of a splash play defensively, Matt, it's a sack. It's getting the defense behind the sticks, which was the fans that did it this last weekend against LSU with those 8 false starts. That's mostly on the fans. And turnovers, and you just haven't seen enough of those in those losses.
Big time game, big time opportunity. It's a absolutely must win game. I really don't think they'll be overlooking Mississippi State, looking to Ole Miss, especially when you just come off of a loss. You're kind of ready to get back into it. So big time, man. I know we said, Phil, before this 3-game stretch that if they could win 2 or 3, they could go 2-1, that we'd take it right now. They can still do that. We can still beat Mississippi State. Then you get Ole Miss coming into town, and now I do like Ole Miss's defense a lot. They're going to be stout. They're going to be tough to run the ball on, but we'll worry about that when it's Ole Miss week.
I feel one of the things about this game, usually a win over Mississippi State means bowl game. Since Arkansas joined the SEC, seasons they've made a bowl, 14-4 against Mississippi State. Seasons Arkansas has not made a bowl game, 4-9-1. There was a tie back in the early 90s. So just to put that in perspective, it doesn't guarantee that you make a bowl game or not. But what it does is it really puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the team and on the coaching staff. They now start thinking about that, hey, we got to get to 6. We got to get to 6. How are we going to get to 6? You beat Mississippi State, it almost feels like that becomes a foregone conclusion. With respect to Louisiana Tech, that's a game that you should win 10 out of 10 times. There'd be a little more pressure on the team if they lose this game, Matt, and I feel that can be reflected in the way that they perform for the last few games too.
Can't go 0-3 in this stretch. That's exactly right. Can't go 0-3. Beat the teams that start with the letter M. And win your home games, and all of a sudden you're going to have a great season. But you get Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Missouri. And Phil, I know Ole Miss will probably be favored a touchdown or so on us. Missouri maybe a little less, so I get that. But man, those are 3 teams. Those are 3 games that we could win. But we got to play a cleaner game. Can't be aggregate -7 and the turnover on those 3 games. Got to have a +7, man. Have a +7 and see what happens.
You also want to be over at Joe's Grilling Cantina when it's Arkansas football time, because they have half-price apps and half-price taps during every single Razorback game. Plus, all day long Saturdays, there's endless enchiladas, $15 pitchers of beer, margaritas, and sangrias, and $2 Busch Light drafts. That's at Joe's Grilling Cantina, where you want to be to watch football. It's where you want to be also today for Taco Tuesday with $1 crispy beef or chicken tacos all day long. And add another $2 for a chicken burrito, $2.95 for the pork carnita tacos, $3.95 for tacos that come with pork belly or brisket. JoesFortSmith.com to get a look at their menu. They're right across from Harps, 74th Street in Fort Smith. Halftime rolls along. Calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963, and we are back in just a moment.
Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo!
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th, next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Summer may be slowing down, but the deals at Vivid Seats haven't. Whether it's scoring MLB tickets for a night at the ballpark or locking down the biggest matchups for the upcoming football season. season, Vivid Seats has you covered. With the only rewards program in the game, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats has something for every fan. Catch the deals you want for the games you crave, all backed by a 100% buyer guarantee. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adventure Dave will be attempting his greatest stunt yet. He will jump over 100 boats, ATVs, cars, and trucks, all at Adventure Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. Here he comes now. Adventure Dave, why did you choose Adventure Oklahoma for this stunt?
Well, Tom, Adventure Oklahoma is your one-stop shop for adventure. Plus, no one else would let me jump over their boats and ATVs.
Adventure Oklahoma by Auto Finders has it all. Brand new, used, that's right. CF Moto, Arctic Cat, and Segway side-by-sides and ATVs, all with a free 5-year warranty. Only offered by Adventure Oklahoma. Plus, G3 boats, Suncatcher pontoons, and Falcon bass boats with delivery up to 100 miles away. The lowest priced pre-owned vehicles in the area with 90 days to your first payment.
That's right. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with Destiny.
Yes, and what a jump it will be.
No, the jump is tomorrow. This is Destiny.
See y'all later. Well, until then, visit Adventure Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. AutoFindersOK.com.
Your journey starts here.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
She was terminally pretty. She had
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I trust all of them, but I think let's saddle up Braylon Russell. Let's go. I think he's ready to go. I've already met with him this morning, called him in and said, hey, man, you want it, go take it. I think he's a really good player. I think he needs some confidence. We've got to get him rolling, to me, early in the game. But I believe wholeheartedly in him. R-Dub, Rodney is a guy that we need back because he brings that toughness, that tough running to us. And it's hurt us not to have him, to be honest with you. And then, unfortunately, we had to fumble with R-Dub. He's got to get over that. We believe in him, and obviously came back in the game. But we're going to be down to those three. And then of course, Reed, and Reed's done well in practice too. But to me, give the ball to Braylon, let him go to work and see if he can't run it several times, to me, because he's a big man, hard to bring down, and a good player. So young doesn't mean you can't be good. We're going to turn around and let the horse eat a little bit.
What an opportunity for the true freshman running back to do this. Hey, man, and it's like you look at some of the true freshmen that have taken their opportunities and run with it over even the last few years. Think of Rocket, think of Dominique. And now you get a chance to see what Braylon Russell can do. I wonder how many carries he gets, though. 19 carries total for Arkansas against LSU. I feel like between Dubinion and Russell alone, there'll be at least, 25 carries. I might just guess to throw that out there, but I feel like that's the way that you'll try to establish yourself at Davis Wade.
Minus the quarterback runs, we got to have 30 running plays. You got to have 30. You got to be able to establish the run. You got to be able to run it. It just helps us. It helps Arkansas in the passing game if we can run the ball. It just does. It's how we open up the passing game is having that threat of running, and we never got going. I mean, just for whatever reason, we just never got going in the LSU game. But I'm with you, man. That's Let's go. I'd say run it, give him to 40 times if he can handle it. But let's give it to him and let the big dog eat.
As long as you hold on to it, though, right? Like
the most precious thing is the football.
Did he get another run after the fumble?
I think in the fourth quarter, but it was. I mean, it's like you said, the game's over.
Oh, he's just got to be seething at the chance.
Oh, it hurts, man.
Get another carry.
We talk about kicking a game-winning field goal, a walk-off home run, and throw in a touchdown, but whatever. Adversely, man, it stinks. You feel it in your gut when you fumble because you let your teammates down. That's the thing, and you hate it for them because the kids aren't trying to do bad. But yeah, you got to, like Coach Pittman said, you got to have short-term memory. Carry a football with you every day to class. Just make that part of your thing.
I wondered about how do you go about teaching ball security, because it's a problem right now for this team. They have fumbled the ball 16 times. There's only one other school in the country that has fumbled the ball more. Now that's not lost fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
They've recovered 10 of their own.
That's way
some
too
of
many.
Some of this is snaps. There's been a few snaps. You didn't see any of that this last weekend, but that also when the snap hits the ground, I mean that's also a fumble too. But you think of Neek has fumbled it, or not Neek. I'm sorry, Jackson has fumbled it. Rashad Dubinion, Green has as well. I don't think Russell has. You could see with Dubinion, first of all, it was a great hit by Penn. The ball just was away from Dubinion's. Yeah. It was just away from his body for just a little bit, just like a split second, maybe just a few inches, and Penn took advantage of that. But there's a problem right now with this team. It isn't just about the snaps. Ball security is an issue for them. How do you go about teaching that?
Forearm, eagle claw, rib cage. I mean, that's just what you do. That's you gotta have talons, man. Once that ball's there, it's gotta be a mindset. The most precious thing in all of it is the football. You got to have the football to win, so you can't be lackadaisical with it. That has to be a priority. Priority number one. Phil, that stat just hurt me right there. We got 16 fumbles already. That's unacceptable, man. Y'all should be embarrassed. That's way too many fumbles. Way too many fumbles for 7 games.
That's a specialty of mine, Matt, is digging up the statistic that'll make it feel like a gut punch.
Man.
You say something about it. I used to do that with the Travs sometimes. But I was hoping that you tell somebody, hey, do you realize you're in like a 2 for 38 slump and you've struck out 17 times during that stretch? You can only say that to the players that you really have a good relationship with. And they'd be like, well, maybe that'll get you going. Because if I go up to somebody and remind them that they're on an 18-game hitting streak, it's obvious the next game they're not going to get a base hit. I'll get blamed for it, but these things should work in reverse. Shouldn't they? If there's a broadcaster jinx, then there's a reverse broadcaster
right.
jinx at the same time. So I'm throwing that out there into the ether here. 16 fumbles for Arkansas, second most in the country. Let's see what happens on Saturday now.
That's our allotted amount, is what you're saying. We've already hit the allotted amount.
No more after this.
Can't get any more. That's right. Can't pull over anymore. I've already pulled over.
Yeah, and I mean, for me right now, the reason that Arkansas the turnovers, is that the reason why they lost to LSU? It's probably at the top of the list, but there are a few other reasons. It's the only game this year that I walked away thinking, you know what? I'm not sure if they really had an opportunity to win this game. 16-10, you fumble it at the one. I get it. I do think LSU was the better team. I didn't walk away from A&M feeling that. I thought Arkansas could have won that game. Certainly didn't walk away from Oklahoma State thinking that either. The turnovers are the reason that you lost to Oklahoma State and that you lost to A&M. And the points that have been created from the turnovers become the overarching theme here. And again, part of this goes to not creating enough turnovers. I mean, you remember one of the things Arkansas did last year, Matt, and hey, I think this has to be, I just realized this. We're talking so much about how, the Dan Enos offense outscored the Arkansas offense from this year up until this point. Didn't they score 4 defensive touchdowns? Are those going to count? They scored 4 defensive touchdowns with Enos as the offensive coordinator. That shouldn't go on his list here. But my whole point is defense can help the offense out in terms of where your drive starts and maybe even putting a few points on the scoreboard for you. And it hasn't happened enough this year. 34 points for opponents in losses off turnovers. 34 points. Arkansas has scored none in those games. So that you point to the turnovers and say, 9-1 is the reason. It's the 34 points that the opponent has created off those turnovers, which includes the pick 6 for Oklahoma State. These are numbers that have to change. And they don't have to be like 9-1 in favor of Arkansas, Matt. I mean, it just has to be even. Or just be +1.
Yeah. Got to get a push. Can't keep losing the turnover battle, especially in conference games. Conference games can't lose the turnover battle. It's just a little too much to overcome. I mean, you give LSU, you want to take away that 1 turnover, so you give them 2 in the pretty much and get 0. It's And the other thing, Phil, I would like to see us. I mean, I think our D-backs can cover, and you don't want to get beat over the top. But it seemed like that Tennessee game, Travis Williams dialed up some blitzes and kind of had some stuff going. I didn't see a whole lot of that against LSU. I didn't really see us even kind of get close to getting to the quarterback. Maybe we can get back. You got to make the quarterback uncomfortable. And then the LSU quarterback's just too good. He's been in the system too long that if you don't make him uncomfortable, it's just another day for him. But maybe we can do that with Mississippi State.
Hey, it's been the freshman quarterbacks where you've had more of your success.
Mississippi State's got a freshman quarterback?
They got a freshman quarterback who's playing this weekend. It is Michael Van Buren with Blake Shapen injured. And here's Sam Pittman on Michael Van Buren.
He's very, very poised back there. I'll tell you what, now he made I don't remember what game it was that I was watching last night, but he made a throw to his left that he knew he was going to get wiped out. And it was freaking on the money. It might have been against Georgia. The way he's running the offense, now they've done a really good job with him. Of course, he's done a good job too, but he's a real good player and very accurate in his throws. And we're going to have to get in front of him. We're going to have to move him at times, but I'm sure they're very pleased with him because he's been awesome for them.
Pretty sure I saw a note that Van Buren has thrown the most passing touchdowns for any SEC quarterback in the month of October. So, and that's against A&M and against Georgia. So, a couple of teams that very well may end up facing each other, Matt, in Atlanta at the end of the season. So, he may be a freshman, but I don't think it's, quite like I forget the name of the kid that started the game for Auburn. Not quite the same thing. It's a guy who's heck, he started 2 games in a row. Says in his first start, not going to be his first rodeo, and he's looking for his first win.
Arkansas run the ball and kind of I think we had a couple callers, maybe it was C Unit, that said LSU kind of did the reverse to Arkansas. They controlled the ball. They controlled the tempo. They controlled time of possession. We got to get back to doing that against Mississippi State. If we can run the ball and be able to run that clock down, keep your defense fresh offense have the ball for at least 10 more minutes. You know, if you can do that, that really helps your defense.
7 turnovers created by the Arkansas defense, none in the last 3 games. And it's like, so I point to the reasons why Arkansas has lost 3 games this year, and you feel like turnovers are top of the list. Why did they beat Auburn? They beat Auburn because of turnovers, because they created 5 turnovers and scored some points off of that. You know, turnovers wasn't the reason that they beat Tennessee, but not turning it over once certainly is near the top of the list for why Arkansas won that game. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. Don't forget about the Moonlight Madness sale this Thursday at Golf USA in Fayetteville. They're in North College in Fayetteville. They're having their once-a-year Moonlight Madness sale this Thursday from 4 until 10. Check out some of the savings. They've got 10 to 70% off everything in the store, 15% off in-stock woods, hybrids, irons, and wedges, 35% off all golf shoes, 30% off all rain gear. All FootJoy apparel is 50% off. That does not count any NCAA licensed apparel. And Matt Jones and Tommy Kraft are going to be there this Thursday for the Moonlight Madness sale at Golf USA, 3184 North College in Fayetteville. Stay with halftime. Wrap up hour number 1 right after this.
It'll be like this one time at band camp.
This is halftime.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Whether you're planting a tree in your backyard or trenching at a construction site, a call to 811 helps prevent dangerous damage to underground utilities and is the first step in keeping yourself and your community safe. Hitting a line can knock out service to your home and neighborhood, resulting in fines, damages, serious injury, or worse. Safety is in your hands. Call 811 before you dig. It's easy, it's free, and it's the law. This message is brought to you by Black Hills Energy.
Finally, football season. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is your #1 place to watch Arkansas and Monday Night Football. During Monday Night Football, $5 refillable beer cups for only $2 refills. Prizes for each score and at the end of every single quarter.
Can you believe that they've had the same great pizza since 1996? That's nearly 30 years.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. You'll get the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment has paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Deer hunting in the comfort of an enclosed 6x6 Lazy Man fiberglass box blind. It's affordable at Jelco Outdoors. Lazy Man Fat Girl Blinds, built here in Fort Smith with your choice of 6-foot or 10-foot tower blind platforms, starting at $22.99.99. Box blinds are great for taking the kids, with plenty of room and out of the weather. Check out the deer blinds at Jelco Outdoors. Hunt longer in the comfort of a Lazy Man box blind, sold locally at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
To wonder if this is a blunder. I don't to worry whether we're going to stay together till we die. I don't want to jump unless the streets are pumping. All the dishes rattle in the cupboards when the elephants arrive. I want to love you madly. I want to love you now. I want to love you madly.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
And Matt Jones, I always love when you choose a song by Cake for one of our intros. I can get with Cake almost any time of the day. I don't even like to eat cake, but I can listen to it.
Flour, sugar, and butter.
You know what Cake doesn't usually have in their group of their assortment of instruments? This. This is from an Auburn, Mississippi State game from 14 years ago, before the bigger video board was put up at Davis Wade Stadium. It ain't going to sound quite like this. I think they were a little better 14 years ago. Matt and Baldwin asks, what kind of crowd are we expecting at Davis Wade Stadium? They are averaging just under 49,000 per game. Their largest attendance was 50,127 from this past weekend's loss against A&M. It's just when 48,000 people walk in with a giant noisemaker that probably should be disallowed across the conference and is, but only allowed here, it'll sound a little louder than 48,000.
Take the ball. Take the ball first. Let's go score. One of the things we heard about before we went to Stillwater was the crowd noise and the environment and how they beat on the padding and how it really gets loud there. It didn't get loud there. You know, like we jumped out on them and made them sit on their hands. And then when they started coming back a little bit, you notice it got a little louder. But same thing. If you can go into Starkville and get the ball first, go down and put 7 points and just kind of take the crowd, whatever crowd is in it, just kind of take them right out of it right away.
Chris says he's been to Starkville and it's overrated, not really that loud. Well, they were ringing in my ear from when I was there a couple of years ago. I mean, it's
hey, if it's 17-14 at the end of the third quarter, it's going to be loud, you know. So you gotta, if you can find a way to get up 7-10 points, kind of get you a little lead. I don't think they'll have much to cheer for.
Look, I'm not putting this out there to give Arkansas any sort of excuse for if they lose at Mississippi State. It ain't going to be because of the cowbells. I'm looking for pity here. I'm looking for pity. How many of you are going to be going to the game? You can turn the sound down. So when we were there 2 years ago, I put my AirPods in my ear and thought that I would use the noise canceling and that would work. It didn't work. I felt like I was going insane for the drive back home. Now, I will take the cowbells over Rocky Top 80,000 times in a 3-hour period. So it's like choose your evil, essentially. I guess I'll take the cowbells. And I don't hear it. I don't think they do it at baseball as much. Some of them bring it there, but it's not quite the same. And you can't do it inside a basketball arena, thank goodness.
Be like you're going to a cake show. You just got to put some cotton in there. You know, put a little like you're going. You know, when you go to the show and you got to put your earplugs in because they turn it up to 11.
Or like sometimes the hotels that are located next door to a concert venue that give you your earplugs with your free bottle of water. Well, nothing's free. Let's be honest here. It's probably right
your
there. Your
$73 ticket. Yeah,
that's right. It's right next. It's right next to your powdered coffee creamer that you didn't even realize you're paying 33 cents for, whether you use the thing or not. And Yeah, I guess I can go buy those things. But I was really just looking for pity, everybody. That's all, because I just want you to feel sorry that my ears are going to be ringing for about 3 hours afterwards. That's all. That's the only reason why. 877-377-6963 for calls and for texts on halftime. Coming up in hour number 2 is Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation, our resident Dodger fan who's got her team in the World Series. Once again, of course, she kind of discounts the 2020 World Championship, and you know what? I think I do too. So we'll talk with Alyssa in about 20 minutes. Otherwise, your calls and texts are coming up after the break. It's halftime, and we are right back.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. I'm buying them at the Bakery District today.
At AOG, our main goal is to deliver reliable energy to your home safely. And keeping our team members, customers, and community safe starts with awareness. Natural gas has a distinctive, strong odor, often compared to rotten eggs or sulfur. If you smell gas, leave your home immediately. Go to a safe location and call 911 in addition to AOG. Remember, if you smell gas, act fast and always call 811 before you dig. To learn more about natural gas safety, visit AOGC.com. AOG, energy for life.
Hanging with Danny Cobb at American Welding Laboratories. Danny, tell us about the school.
Well, Tommy, we're going on 3 years in operation. We teach all aspects of welding, from stick welding all the way to combination pipe.
So how's the job market these days?
Job market's wide open, whether you want to stay local or hit the road. As a licensed institution, we have access to many grants, including the GI Bill now.
Great. How do we get started?
Come by 4400 South 16th, take a tour, talk to our instructors.
It's American Welding Laboratories. Find out more at theweldinglab.com.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, just an outside chance of seeing a shower or two across the north. Otherwise, increasing sunshine, a high today into the middle 80s. Later tonight, mainly clear, an overnight low right around 60. Wednesday, sunshine, a high in the middle to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios, broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got to take it here and that's the perspective. Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go. I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Number one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. Halftime continues on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson with my partner Matt Jones, Christian Johnston continuing to produce. We'll have a guest about 15 minutes. The one and only Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation will be joining us. So open segment right now. Calls and texts at 877-377-6963. Seth and Rogers asked, why is the cowbell ringing still allowed in Starkville? I think it's just kind of like grandfathering in a peculiar tradition for a university in this conference, kind of just like, you know, the when batting helmets and hockey helmets were mandated, players were grandfathered in. They didn't always have to wear them. Same with the spitballers. Spitball was banned, but if you used it up until the banning of the spitball, you were grandfathered in. I just feel that's what they did. Either that or Mississippi State was going to protest by leaving the Southeastern Conference for the Sun Belt. Would have worked really well for them, too.
It's interesting. Do they – so, I mean, it is an artifact. It's like those Zulus that they carry in at the World Cup, you know, some of the African teams.
The Vuvuzelas?
There you go. Yeah. They and it's almost like it's this has the sound of like 50,000 like mosquitoes, or the buzz sound that's kind of going like they're like, it sounds like
like the
crickets.
Cicadas.
Yeah, there
it's
you go.
Like
It's
the cicadas that are
yeah.
always hanging around you when you go outside this past summer. That's right.
I just, I think Mississippi State's they're not any good at football. They've never really been good at football. I think you got to give them the cowbell. I think that's this kind of. They're a team that I want to say in the last 20. I mean, that Fred Smoot year, they had a team that could win 9-10 games back in the day, but nobody thinks Mississippi State and thinks football.
Yeah, they think baseball.
They think baseball, or they think cowbell even. But you don't think football team. You don't think, oh man, I hope our players that they don't think that. I hope you don't start overlooking them, because they do have enough talent. That you go up there and have 3 turnovers and don't get any turnovers, Mississippi State mess around and beat you.
I would hope the players are looking at it from a completely different way than I brought it up a moment ago, which was sarcastic, by the way. If you think I'm looking for pity, I can pity myself very easily. I hope they're looking at it as a chance to go do something that you don't get a chance to do very often. Play in an atmosphere that's loud, just like that, where it's not people screaming and whistling. It's something different. It's something that's college football and something that you don't get to experience anywhere else.
Let's get another road conference victory.
Let's go to Juwan in Fayetteville, 877-377-6963. Hey, Juwan, what's going on? How are you?
What's going on, fellas? Just sitting here, man, upset about the loss. I'm trying to move on to Mississippi State. I really don't pick against the Razorbacks, but I'll tell you what scares me about Mississippi State. Can we score with those guys right there? I've seen them against A&M. I've seen them against Georgia. And if we can't get any offense going, Jeff Lebby is an offensive genius. He can score against anybody. And that's the thing that bothers me about the Razorbacks this season. Our first 2 drives, we might start out pretty good. Like Taylor Green came out, he threw a good touchdown on that first drive, or was it the second drive to Andrew Armstrong where we scored? After that, offense just completely halted. It completely halted after that. And I don't know if it's the players not playing motivated enough. We have so many drop balls in that fumble stat that you read earlier. That's just insanity. Now, I understand the defense, people being upset with the defense, but how many times can you really stop someone from scoring before they score a touchdown? And if you're not getting any help from the offense, you can lose motivation. Like, why am I stopping these guys? If we're not going to get anything, what was that stat y'all read about the turnovers? Off turnovers, we haven't scored any touchdowns off of our turnovers at all, or generated any points. That's bad business, man. And this Michael Van Buren kid, that's a freshman, I think they found something in Starkville with that kid. So it's going to be a really iffy game. I'm really, really worried just because our offense hasn't did anything. We ran the ball for, 58 yards last game against LSU, who hasn't been a good defense. And speaking of that game, it seems like every year a new defensive star is born for LSU against Arkansas. Last year it was Harold Perkins. This year, Wes Weeks. Weeks, he took that game over, man. That guy is awesome. But, fellas, I hope we can get that win. I really do. If we don't, I'll probably won't call in for a couple weeks until we get a win. I appreciate the call.
Don't make any idle
You guys
threats,
have a good
Juwan.
one.
Yeah, no, don't make any idle threats. I mean, you got to follow through with that. That's right. Always good to hear from you, Juwan. Thank you. Oh, man.
How much to his point, Phil? How much do you think, because we changed the offensive line around again? Do you think that had something to do with it? Why the running production went down a little bit?
I can't imagine it wouldn't have at least a little to do with it. And I'm not criticizing the decision either. I mean, I kind of think it makes sense. I've heard for a while, people have thought that Blackstock looks more like a guard and Harris looks more like a tackle. I mean, Marion is built like a tackle. I think that's going to be the position that he plays moving on in the future. I think that was the idea when he came here. So, I mean, I do think it makes sense, but it's like you've said before, and you would know better than anybody that's listening right now or me, it's this just very delicate dance where you got to choreograph things just so, and you learn it one way for 6 weeks, and you got to learn it another way. Whether you got 2 weeks to learn it or not, it's just, I can't imagine that didn't at least have something to do with it.
Yeah, I think so as well. And then not having to threat with your quarterback. I don't know. How do you think Taylon Green, he should be better this week, but I think this Arkansas offense, I think we talked about this about week 2, week 3. This Arkansas offense is better, I think we can put up more points. Taylon Green has to get to 55 rushing yards. He has to get to 48 rushing. You want Taylon Green to have over 50 rushing yards, because some of those are pass plays, not necessarily designed run plays, but that gives them something else to worry about instead of always focusing on that running back.
Let's talk with Eduardo, who has called us here. Of course, he is the Sherpa. He is somewhere halfway up or somewhere at the top maybe of Petit Jean Mountain, looking down on Razorback fandom, and he's got a message for everybody. What the message is, I don't know. But, Eduardo, you have the floor.
Thank you for taking my call, gentlemen. I was listening to you talk about experiences in Starkville, and I want to describe an experience I had in Starkville in 2000. I believe it was around 2000, almost 17 years ago, 2007. The game started around 6 or 6:30, and our school, our buses pull up on campus there. Of course, if you ever been to Starkville, it ain't like Fayetteville. You got to pull up, and they have this field. I think they charge you like 30, 40, 50 bucks to park, and then you got to walk about a quarter mile to the stadium from that field to the stadium. They were in the trees that day. And anyway, they surrounded our buses. The bells were ringing. Like I said, they were in the trees. And I went down with a couple. By the way, we won that day. It went into overtime. And Malik pulled out a big win for us down there. But I made a mistake of saying, let me hear them cowbells now. And I didn't think I said it that loud. And I told them, my buddies, we're getting the hell out of Starkville, because they were throwing beer bottles and you know what I mean. We beat them that day. That was my experience in Starkville. It's going to be a tough environment. But more importantly than that, we got to come play tough. I mean, we didn't do that Saturday. Only game of the year I didn't see our effort. I mean, look at the effort we put against Tennessee. Look at the effort, how good A&M is. We put on even Oklahoma State in a loss. And we had, what's disappointing to me, you had 2 weeks to prepare on both sides of the football. And you didn't play. I didn't see no effort, baby. Because if you call that at 30 yards rushing, come on now. You go down to Starkville and do not rush the football, you will get beat. I mean, and this is a game we cannot afford to lose. I mean, any team in this conference, don't let 1-6 fool you, baby. Because any team in this league can beat you. And you bring that effort again, you will get beat. I mean, come on now. There's a lot at stake at this game. I said yesterday, to me, it becomes the most, not every game's important, but to me, so far, up to this point, this game Saturday in Starkville Baby, you better find your fight, because if you don't, crank up the Beachy Boys, because you better find your fight the right Saturday. I don't understand how we have these laws. You know, you play good all year, and then you go ahead. Take nothing away from LSU, but 30 yards, come on now.
Yeah, it didn't make too much sense, and it was, I think, 68 yardage of positive yardage before sacks against a team that had struggled against the run, but I think LSU's defense coming together. Eduardo, before you go, now that you'd mentioned that you traveled to Starkville for football, I need to see if I might be able to reserve your services, if I can use that term, the weekend of March 28th through March 30th. Have you ever traveled for Arkansas baseball, Eddie?
I've never been down there for a baseball game. I've been down several times.
We need you at Vanderbilt, and I'm going to buy you tickets to sit right next to the Vanderbilt Whistler. The two of you can have at it for an entire 3-game series, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore. I'll pay you to do it. I might actually think about paying you to do it.
I'll bring my whistle, sir, because I always blow the whistle. You know, without a doubt, our baseball hawk train year in and year out, they come to play, baby.
They do. And you'll come to whistle, and he'll come to whistle, and I think it'll be a lot of fun for everybody involved. Thank you very much. Eduardo, as always, thank you for listening to our show. You just imagine Eddie in Clarksville with the Vanderbilt Whistler sitting side by side, and I'm trying to get them to cancel each other out in some cases. They would probably end up becoming like best friends that go on vacations together and call into radio shows together. That would be appointment listening or appointment missing. I'm not quite sure. Hey, if you during the football game on Saturday, get over to Andy's Frozen Custard. You already know, anytime you're craving anything sweet and delicious, Andy's Frozen Custard has you covered with the greatest frozen treats around. But don't forget about the Pick Six during football Saturdays. Mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect game time treat. That's Andy's Frozen Custard. Got locations in Fort Smith on Rogers Avenue, Conway, East Oak Street, Dave Ward Drive, and in North Little Rock on JFK Boulevard. Andy's Frozen Custard, walk up or drive through, ready to serve you. Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation will stop by halftime right after this break.
Good luck with your layoffs, all right? I hope your firings go really well.
This is halftime. Don't miss out on Hog Reaction after every Razorback football game. Brought to you by Bud Light. Also presented by Black Hills Energy.
That's one of the reasons I love Travis Williams. I think he's able to take away what is something this team does well. Well, you know what? Travis Williams is usually, most of the time, he's able to take that away. Then teams got to go to their B plan, their C plan, and then you really see the depth. You see if they're talented enough, because everybody can have a plan A.
Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas Sports District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot buys at any of our 4 locations. Huge mums in 10-inch pots. Price drop. Now only $7.99. Brown jersey work gloves are only 50 cents a pair. And get an Ace 100-piece ratcheting screwdriver and bit set, or a 10-piece pliers and wrench set for only $24.97. Order online now and pick up in the store or curbside anytime. Find more everyday low prices online at JaegersHardware.com.
Witzburg Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th, next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we are rolling out Rath Auto Relief. Now through midnight on Halloween, get up to $1,500 Rath cash when you purchase any one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles. Use it to pay your sales tax, get extra for your trade, or just take it right off the price. Plus, follow us on Facebook for fun-free giveaways every week. Rath Auto Relief, one more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Well, I snuck to a window, leave her a note. Will you come meet me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom, that sweet smell in the air. We were trembling together, we were young, we were scared, yeah. True love, hard to find. I can see us in the air. Blossom, there.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Big Trail Nation Sports Director Alyssa Orange joining us on Halftime, as usual, on a Tuesday right about now. Alyssa, good afternoon. What does it feel like to be a fan of the National League champions?
Fantastic. I was really hoping you guys were gonna like call back to one of our calls one week, and I think it might have been April or May, and I was like, they're falling apart and they're terrible and they can't win baseball games, and here we are. And I think you told me to like calm down.
Yeah, because the Pirates were having a great month of April, and the Dodgers did not. So just this is like a 6-month season. Don't worry about it.
Chill out.
I'm just floored at how they're able to take a rotation of maybe 2.5 pitchers and actually win 2 playoff series. I just don't know. Like this Yankees, it isn't just the Yankees lineup; it's the stars in the lineup and what it is that they can do. And they've got a full pitching staff. So like, how long can the Dodgers bullpen just carry them?
Hey, forever. No, but also too, like not even just like win games, Phil. Like shut out teams.
Right.
It's great. So I'm but you're right. There is no let up in that Yankees lineup at all. But the Dodgers are hitting really well too. So, when you look at that final game, a lot of that production came from the bottom of the lineup. And so I think it's going to be so fun. I'm excited for Friday to get it going. I'm just, I'm setting myself up for a win and trying not to think about heartbreak, and I'm optimistic. So.
Well, I think it's going to be a good series. I do. I think the Yankees will probably a little
Yeah.
bit more of a complete team, though. But, hey, this Arkansas offense has to figure out a way to start scoring some points. You know, I mean, I think it'd be interesting. Like, if Dan Enos was the offensive coordinator instead of Bobby Petrino, I think they'd be calling for somebody's head. I mean, it's just I didn't think that they would have this much trouble getting into the end zone.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. I think when I was looking at those final stats, correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, they didn't get into the red zone at all against LSU. They were 0 for 0 in the red zone. And it's interesting because now you're playing teams that obviously have a little bit more talent than the teams you played at the beginning of the season. And now, on top of it, you are not at full health. So you're not playing with a fully healthy DeQuindon Jackson, who says himself, I'm a different player when I'm healthy. When I'm not, you're going to get 5 carries for 26 yards is what we saw against LSU. And so now they're trying to figure out with a hurt Rodney Hill as well, who's going to be that backfield. And you'd ask me 5 months or 5 weeks ago, the running backs were the strongest part of this offense. And now they're trying to figure out how they can even run the football effectively. And you've got Rashad Dubinion, who they have trust in, and then you've got the freshman in Braylon Russell and see what he can do. I think that the passing game has kind of started to fix itself a little bit. I think Talon is continuing to trust himself a little bit more, not just either bail or just throw the ball away. So we're seeing that a little bit more, but now the run game is taken away from the balance. And I think a Mississippi State team who, one, is still looking for their first SEC win of the year, but also playing good football, is going to be a good test to exactly where this Arkansas team is at the moment.
Hey, Alyssa, give me something that you did like from this Arkansas LSU game, something maybe we can go going forward into this Mississippi State game, because there wasn't a lot to like, but was there anything that maybe stood out that you're like, yeah, at least we did that well?
I think Talon was a little bit more patient, and so I liked that. I think he was a little bit more trusting. And I think it was really good to see guys like Tyrone Broden and Luke Haz and Isaiah Satenya and Jordan Anthony get some catches on top of Andrew Armstrong. So that was good to see. If I have any more takeaways, we're distributing the ball a little bit better.
Did you like Phil and I were talking a little bit about, Blackstone. Is it Blackstone going to left guard?
Blackstock,
which I think it might fit him a little bit. Do you think maybe that had a little bit why we didn't run the ball as well?
I think so. Well, I think it helped why they were throwing the ball. They're still trying to figure that out. I think they just didn't run the football very well because DeQuindon Jackson is hurt, and this LSU I don't want to take away from this LSU defensive line, right? Like, sometimes it's not us, it's them. And I think that this is one of those situations where it's just between the LSU defensive line and the inexperience in the backfield against the SEC team had a little bit more to do with why the run game wasn't having some success.
Yeah, a win here, I think, takes some pressure off of everybody to just not have to worry too much about bowl eligibility. And again, I brought this up earlier. I want to say that with respect to Louisiana Tech, but that's a home game.
Yeah.
Louisiana Tech is playing today. They're not having a great season. They're not very good. You're going to win that game. I just don't want to. I don't want them to play with the feeling that, oh my gosh, we have to beat Ole Miss, otherwise we're never going to make a bowl game, or Texas and all of that. Like, I just want them to play free and easy and have it focus on that game and just the outcome of that game. I feel like a win against Mississippi State might allow them to just not worry about that very much.
You would hope so, or play like you're just trying to force something that's not there and not be yourself and be authentic. And I think that's huge, Phil. When we talk about all the teams right now who are having success, it's because they're just playing authentically to who they are. And that's what Arkansas needs to do. And I don't know if we've really seen that from game to game to game, to be quite honest with you.
Before I ask you about a Tua comment or about Tua and him coming back, who are your top three teams right now, Alyssa, in the SEC? Is LSU, have they cracked your top three?
I think so. I was really impressed with the way that they played on Saturday, and they're a team that continues to get better. I think Georgia and Texas are the other two answers. So you're looking at Georgia, Texas, LSU, not in that order, but kind of there that are going to trickle between the top three to make it very interesting to see what two teams go to Atlanta. And, I'm still intrigued by Missouri. And I know Arkansas fans are going to hate that. But I am intrigued about Missouri and what they can do, especially with the schedule that's a little bit on the lighter side. Even though you lost to Texas A&M, like what can this Missouri Tiger team do? So I don't necessarily think they're the best team. They're not my top three, but they're an intriguing team that I'm keeping my eye on because they might just sneak in because that schedule's not very hard.
Alyssa, I'm a Tua fan. I think the dude is an amazing quarterback. What are your thoughts as this situation starts to unfold? If the kid wants to play, I guess so. But what are you thinking about this?
Yeah, I go back and forth all the time because I'm right there with you. I think I love him. I love him for the franchise. I think he is a good dude. He's a good football player. His teammates love him. They trust him. He clearly carries that football team. He is that football team from a leadership standpoint, and I would love to see him back on the field. And if doctors who have so much more knowledge than me tell him that he can go out there and continue to play football, and he is listening to educated decisions and advice that are going to benefit him not just as a football player but as a human being, then I will gladly welcome him with open arms back on that football field. I just hope that this isn't a mistake. You know what I mean?
I do too. It's a collision sport. It's a violent game. Do you have some type of so if you remember Peyton Manning's last decade in the NFL, if he threw an interception, he was told just to lay down. Don't even go try to make a tackle because you're too valuable. And I think Jay Cutler did that. He had the Bears winning. They were like 10-1, then he broke his hand and they were never the same. Does Tua, do you have him playing in different guidelines where, hey man, you can't ever rush, and if you do, it's slide feet first?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that they were even trying to do that after his second concussion a few years ago, where it was like, you're not allowed to be mobile anymore. And if you feel like you just have to move at all, you're moving a few yards and then you're just falling down. Like you're not going shoulder first into a DB into his stomach. Like we're not doing that anymore. And I think that they were trying to do that, but sometimes I think you understand, Matt, more than anybody. If you're an athlete, you're just in the game and in the moment, right? And if you're playing like, oh my God, I got to slide, are you being authentically who you are as a football player? Is that even fun anymore?
I can't remember another athlete, and part of this has to be because of the view and concussions being so different in the last 15, 20 years than anything before that. But I can't remember a player that's so connected to a single kind of injury more than Tua with the concussions. Maybe Tommy John and the elbow surgery that's got his name connected to it. But, outside of that, it's almost like Derrick Rose and the knee injuries. It's just like you were waiting for the next one to occur. And that's what it feels like with Tua. You're almost waiting for the next concussion. I wonder, would he ever wear the Guardian
That's terrifying.
cap? Would he ever wear the Guardian cap? Like, this is supposed to be something that helps out. Who cares if it looks silly?
Yeah. Why not? If you're going to tell me that something looks silly, but it might actually save your life, I'm going with save my life. Who cares what it looks like?
I think
in
I
20
would too,
years
but I've
from now,
never been in
20
that
years
position.
from now, they might be wearing them anyway. So be a trendsetter.
Well,
Make
something
it
to think
cool
about.
again. Not again, just make it cool.
Alyssa, thanks for hopping on, and good luck to
Yeah,
your
guys,
Dodgers.
always good to be with you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We'll talk with Alyssa again on Tuesday next week. By then, we should have a real sense of what this World Series would look like. Matt, would you ever consider wearing the Guardian cap?
I think it's a case by case. You even think back to a guy like Tom Rathman that kind of had the first one to have a dual helmet. I think baseball, John Olerud. I think you have to if you're Tua. I don't think you got to think he's a father, he's a husband. He's all these other things as well. That you would just, man, who's the people that are giving you advice, or who do you trust? And it's like I think you got to take every precautionary you can, because we what do we know about concussions? Whenever you have one, you're more susceptible to have another one. It's just how it goes. So I would take all the precautions that you can if you're Tua.
Join us on halftime. Calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963, and we'll have much more after the break.
His mama named Clay. I'm going to call him Clay.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The perfect hot tub is waiting for you at Burton Pools and Spa's Warehouse Clearance. Whether you're seeking relaxation or quality time with family, we've got you covered with Hot Spring Hot Tubs, the world's best-selling brand. Over 100 hot tubs in stock, ready for delivery and on sale. Hot tubs starting at $39.99 and payments as low as $58 a month. Visit our hot tub warehouse clearance in Springdale, Greenland, or Fort Smith today. Burton Pools and Spas. We don't just sell hot tubs, we build long-term relationships.
This is halftime.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front-row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers, and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3001 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Better get a hold of myself. Not get ahead of myself. Hello through smoke when you smile. What happens when she's around? Love that makes you kind of nervous to say so. Love that makes you kind of nervous to say so.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Jerry from Tucker Holler, who's giving us a call here on Halftime. Let's talk with Jerry. Jerry, what's going on? How are you?
Good afternoon. Just kind of out glomming this pretty weather. What I was going to ask was, who are some of the top 5-star athletes in Arkansas high school athletics that the Razorbacks are looking at? Now I'll let you go.
Jerry, we're gonna have to try to get like Danny West on to talk about who Arkansas is targeting as far as visits and recruiting and everything. I don't follow it closely enough to be able to list off the names of these kids. So I'll try to get Danny on and see how he thinks how he thinks Arkansas is doing with some of the I think you said 5 stars in Arkansas. Is that right, Jerry?
Yeah, if we do have some, don't we?
Usually not that many. There might be a few. We have to double check on it, but it's
okay.
Sometimes they're a little few and far between in our small state.
It seems like with this NIL and everything, they're forgetting a lot of the high school athletics. It's not like you play for all the time and are pretty good in high school. They're just kind of looking for NIL more than they're looking at high school players.
I think in some cases, some of the kids are looking at NIL, but I also think, I'm looking at 24/7 Sports rankings of the top football recruits in Arkansas. Number 1 is Carius Kern, who's out of Marion, and he's a tackle. And I think he's committed to LSU, and I mean you can look at that in a couple of ways. That's also a program that right now might have a little more stability and have a little more money too, and has a history of they're going to have a couple of tackles that are probably getting drafted in the first round next year. So, and that is with respect to the Arkansas football program, but I could see why in this case he would choose LSU potentially, and I think they're after some of the other top recruits in the state of Arkansas. It's just not all of them are choosing to go to Arkansas. You do have Grayson Wilson, quarterback out of Conway, Quentin Murphy out of Parkview. But, they certainly haven't been able to put up that proverbial fence around the state. Not yet.
Do you agree with me or agree sometimes that the top athletes are not necessarily from 7A, 6A schools? Could there be some in the 2A and the A? We don't have A anymore, but the 2A schools, it just seems
there's
like
some diamonds out there in the rough.
Look at those kids.
No, I think there's some diamonds out there in the rough. I have a sense that if someone's worth looking at, you kind of hear about it as long as you're well connected in the state. And I don't know what their connections are like. But I also it's also just not – we just don't have a lot of 5-star football players here right now. In fact, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite, there aren't any right now in Arkansas that are playing football and will be coming out for 2025.
Okay, well, y'all have a good day, and I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jerry.
To Matt, and I think that Matt's got the right idea. If we want to continue a good program and get the fan interest in Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, I
go
think that's
somewhere else.
I think that's that's a legitimate opinion, Jerry. Is the idea that in a state like Arkansas, that fans feel maybe more connected when there are kids from Arkansas on the team, and there are. It's just I don't think there's quite the same. I don't know if I could say like percentage of players on the team from Arkansas who actually play. But I think 5-star athletes in the state of Arkansas for football are a little bit rare right now. But that doesn't mean you don't recruit the state. But Matt, that's something you've been hitting on for a while. It's you do have to try to keep your best players in the state. I think they're trying. It's just not necessarily with a ton of success.
Yeah, every time you lose a guy, especially when you lose guys to other SEC programs, that kind of stings a little bit. But I'm all for it, man. Keep your in-state kids up there that they grow up wanting to be Hogs, and not all of them. And the kid that's committed to LSU, you wish him nothing but the best. But man, he's a number one player in the state. That'd be back-to-back years we lost the number one player in the state to a rival. It's just you gotta stop doing that.
I do wonder about, and LSU's got more stability for the time being. The number 3 prospect in the state on the 24/7 Sports Composite ratings, Omarion Robinson, a safety, is committed to Oklahoma. Now, I know they just signed Venables to an extension. I don't remember how long that extension was. But I wouldn't say necessarily that you feel the program is so stable when you just got rid of your offensive coordinator who's an alum of the school and it's just halfway through the season. So who knows? Something goes on there. Heck, something goes on at Auburn. Although I don't think they're going to fire Freeze. I really don't. But I wonder about Venables at Oklahoma because I just don't think they want to get into that cycle. And I think Auburn would view it the same way, Matt, of firing coaches after 2 years and then leaving somebody else to try to pick up the mess. So I'm not sure if we'll see that right now. But if it happened, maybe you could move in and get Robinson to flip, and then you got one of your then you got 2 of the top 3 in the state, but not number 1. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime here. Did you see the statement Matthew McConaughey put out to the Texas fans, Matt? Yeah. He called himself, he put it on Twitter yesterday. You ever think to yourself that you think the way that you speak? I think McConaughey does. He does, because he calls himself MOC McConaughey coming at you here. This is like, I don't do a good McConaughey imitation, but I feel like if you read this, you got to at least try. But my McConaughey imitation is miserable. It says Longhorn Nation, and specifically our DKR student section. MOC McConaughey coming at you here. I love it. Does he have a business card that says this? It stands for Minister of Culture.
First class or no class.
That's so funny. And corny at the same time. He says, you were electric Saturday night when we hosted Georgia. Bravo. Let's continue to bring it, even though the Horns didn't get the W, blah, 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 blah. Let's get real about the bottle bombing, the field glitch we had. He calls it bottle bombing the field glitch that we had. Speaking in today's teenage lingo. Not cool, bogey move. You could just see him saying this. It's like somebody wrote the script for him. Says, going forward, let's clean up that kind of BS and leave that behind us for good. We have to shake hands on that. Shaking hands is supposed to really mean something there, I guess.
In Texas, yeah. Another celebrity, so to speak, that I like watching is Michael Irvin with the Hurricanes. He's been at the last couple games, and he gets fired up. I thought
I would believe that Playmaker is more of an actual minister of culture for Miami than McConaughey is for Texas. Because if you're like, all right, the whole attitude of Miami football, for me, comes right from the way Michael Irvin played and right from that same attitude he even had off the field. I don't know if he invented the you thing, but he probably did. Speaking of, so MOC means Minister of Culture, which Brian is the Texas Minister of Culture in Arkansas. I'm sure he's got business cards that says this. We were waiting for a phone call yesterday, Brian, but here you are. How you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
We're great. Even better right now. What's up?
Not much. Just calling to see how things are going, and wait.
How are things going? Every time you call, we're talking about Texas. How are things going today?
Wait for Saturday. Get over that crappy loss.
What about last Saturday? What happened last Saturday? Did you watch? Did you listen to Craig Way this time, maybe?
Nah, sure didn't.
Nah, of course you didn't. You don't know who that is.
But here's the deal. I mean, I'll be the first to admit, Texas played horrible in all aspects of the game. They deserved to have their butts kicked by Georgia. Congrats to them. Maybe Georgia's back, maybe they're not. Maybe Texas just played horribly. But, one game, I was wrong. I mean, just like everybody's wrong about how bad Arkansas is going to lose to LSU. My question for y'all today is, at the beginning of the season, everybody kind of penciled Mississippi State in as a win. Has your opinion changed on that? And, of course, Mississippi State's giving everybody a hard time. I think you guys are going to have a tough game Saturday. What do y'all think?
I think it'll be a tough game. Absolutely. I think Mississippi State is looking at this as their best chance, maybe their last best chance for a win in conference. I don't think this is a walk at all, but I do think that this is a game that Arkansas should win. And he's gone. I was going to ask him how much money he lost on the Texas game last week. Because we know, he always tells us he puts money on this game with Texas, that game with Texas, always picks them to win. But I will give him credit, Matt, for at least calling up. You could hear the disappointment in his voice. Brian can't help it, but let those emotions show through the voice.
It's just one loss. That's right. Texas has they got Vandy bye week. Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, A&M. I mean, they're going to
lose another game until the A&M game. I mean, they're going to have just the one loss up until that.
And then they got to come into Fayetteville if we find a way to get to the quarterback a little bit.
I was looking at the rest of the teams that they're playing, not Arkansas, because I do think Arkansas is going to play Texas very well.
I'll
make no predictions on that game, but I do think Arkansas will play that game very, very tough.
I do too. I think we'll play Texas better than we play Ole Miss.
877-377-6963. If you want to get with us on halftime, we got to take a quick break. Wrap up hour number 2 right after this.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively.
TGI Fridays on Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith has an incredible lineup for their meal deals. This includes crispy chicken fingers for only $9.99, served with seasoned fries and coleslaw. Whiskey glazed chicken slammers, $10.99. Buffalo chicken slammers, $10.99. Grilled salmon for $15.99. And Friday's big ribs for $14.99, all served with a side and fountain drink. Don't miss out on their happy hour. Karaoke on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and 50-cent wings on Monday. TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Clarksville Saturday, November 16th and Sunday, November 17th. On Saturday, the doors open from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 9 till 3. The American Patriot Promotions Clarksville Gun Show is at the Johnson County Fairgrounds. Tickets are just $10 per person and only $8 for veterans, military, and police. Children 16 and under are free. For more information, go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In-Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In-Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In-Stock Parts.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Here with Grant Neal at Road Chevrolet. Grant, how do you get all these pre-owned vehicles that look so good?
Well, what we do is we get all the vehicles that we can that qualify for our certified pre-owned program. We give them that certification. What that means, they get a higher level of inspection, and the manufacturer comes and guarantees a warranty on that vehicle. So you're going to get a guaranteed 12-month, 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, as well as an extension on the factory powertrain warranty and an additional oil change paid for by Chevrolet. So great value, and there's no warranty better than the manufacturer's warranty. And that's on top of the 2-year complimentary maintenance program that we give on every vehicle we sell.
You have to ask yourself, why should I go anywhere else? Road Chevrolet is the place to go.
We don't have the largest selection, but we have a very quality selection. We handpick these vehicles, and most of them are acquired here locally, which gives us an even greater level of quality control. So we're not selling, mystery vehicles, and man, I hope that this thing wasn't abused. We know the history of most of these vehicles.
That's why they are Arkansas's favorite car dealer, Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Appreciate Cecil holding through the break. Let's talk with Cecil, who's always got something.
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing?
Hey,
How y'all
man, it's
doing? How
talking
y'all
to you.
doing
Nice to
over
hear
there?
from you today. What's up?
Nice to hear from you too, Phil. I heard Matt was talking about Michael Irvin down in Miami, and you know, this is America, so everybody got a fair chance at winning and stuff like that. But man, they conference sucks, man. I mean, because I'm a sport man too, and little Ronnie's brother was looking at the internet yesterday. And I'm looking at it right now, and Miami don't play nobody. I'm going to say it one more time. Nobody. I'm talking about their schedule. They're going to win out because they don't have any competition. And then they play,
Florida State game, we thought this Florida State game at the end of the week would be a big one. Not so
Phil,
much.
hold on. Let me pause you right there, Phil. Florida State is 1-6.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
So
think
they're
the
gonna win
toughest
out.
the toughest game they have left is Duke.
Yeah, but where are they ranked? Because they're not in the top 25.
I know they're not ranked, even though
And
they're
they-
6-1.
And they beat California 39-38. They beat Virginia Tech 38-34. Come on, Phil.
I know,
The
but all,
SEC, this
they've
is the
had
thing
all
about
kinds of
the
escape
SEC.
hatches.
Yeah,
The
the
ACC
thing
is
about
only
the
going to get
SEC
one team. ACC is only getting one team in. It's the winner of that. It'll be whoever wins between Clemson and Miami, and that'll be it. And that'll be the championship game of that league.
But the thing about it, I scanned all the conferences, and it's a lot of them. I mean, the Big Ten is all right, man, but they just give the Big Ten credit for the ratings, man. Come on now. And I'm happy for Vanderbilt. I really am, to see them finally winning. I'm happy for them. Even I'll root for them, but when they come to Fayetteville, if we ever play them, I won't root for them because I'm a Hog fan. But the SEC is a hell of a conference, man.
and it's just a lot of competition there. You know, and if you lose three conference games, you're kicking some butt right there, man, because it's hard. It is hard. In Texas, I guarantee you, I will not call in anymore if they don't lose 2 or 3 more games. They're going to lose 2 or 3 more games. That's just the way it is.
Well, they got Vandy, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and A&M left on the schedule. Nobody's going to put anything past Vanderbilt right now. I don't think Florida will do it. I think Arkansas will play them very, very tightly. I think they'll blow out Kentucky. And A&M and Texas, that's a great week for college football, certainly, and I think that'll be one of the headline games.
Right. Okay, fellas, I'm gonna jump off, man. I'm gonna continue to listen to y'all till the rest of them come on, and I'm gonna hang up. Y'all have a blessed day.
All right, Cecil. Good to hear from you always. Thanks a lot. 877-377-6963 to get with us. Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't think Clemson's going to make it in without an ACC championship game. You know, they're ranked 9th. Part of it will be what those rankings look like in 2 weeks. That'll tell us. But could you see 4 SEC teams, maybe 4 Big Ten teams, 1 Big 12, 1 ACC, 1 Group of 5, and then Notre Dame potentially?
Yeah, if Notre Dame, what's their magic number 10-2? They probably get in.
Well, and their schedule, I think, lends itself to. I mean, they only have Navy this weekend. We'll find out. We'll find out. That's for sure. We also get into our third hour of halftime. We'll bring some of those topics up with Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio. He joins us 20 minutes from now. Otherwise, we're wide open. After the top of the hour, you can get with us. 877-377-6963. We'll check the headlines and talk more Arkansas football right after this.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith. In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with always on energy. Visit AOGC.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at AAABM.com or call us at 471-1771.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, just an outside chance of seeing a shower or two across the north. Otherwise, increasing sunshine, a high today into the middle 80s. Later tonight, mainly clear, an overnight low right around 60. Wednesday, sunshine, a high in the middle to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios, broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we're not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones, man, take it to the house.
I said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
That's even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Moving into our third hour, halftime on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson, joined by Matt Jones and Colton Little producing for this final hour. Calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963. We're talking with Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio in about 15 minutes. So we are wide open for you right here and right now on the day where the NBA season gets going. I think only one Razorback will be on the court tonight, if he does get on the court. Jordan Walsh and the Celtics will be home in Boston against the Knicks. T-Wolves at Lakers. And then looks like everybody else gets going tomorrow. I think there might be some room to grow for Jordan Walsh with the Celtics, Matt. Didn't really get on the court too often last year. Spent more time in the G League than in the NBA, but he had a front row seat to the championship. He's got a ring. And I was reading a little bit about him. I think the Celtics may get him on the court some more this year.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm a big-time Jordan Walsh fan. I thought that if he would have stayed another year, that he would have been a lottery pick the next year. The dude has talent. He's long. He's rangy. The other thing that I like about Jordan is that he likes to compete. He likes to work. But he can play defense. I think going, as you go forward in the NBA, Phil, there's one or two guys that are your scorers. Now, everybody can score, but you know what I mean? There's one or two guys that you run plays for. You're not running a lot of plays for Jordan Walsh. He's going to be able to play defense, guard the other team's best player. Man, that's something big to have. And he's so athletic, and he's so young. And you shoot that, it's a cardio game. You shoot that corner three, and he kind of could be like who was your boy that was one of the twins from Nevada that played it for the Miami Heat that was like
he played for Muss, yeah.
Yeah, like that's the type of player I see him being. Like, he'll guard some fours, he'll guard some threes, he can guard twos, and kind of just be the thing with Jordan Walsh too. I mean, half the time there's not going to be three other athletes on the floor more athletic than him. He's going to always be one of the most athletic players on the floor right now.
I was thinking Moses Moody. I mean, isn't this his fourth year with the Warriors? Like, some of these years just kind of bump into each other, but I feel like this is a year where Moody can.
They traded Klay Thompson, right?
That's right. I mean, it can kind of. I think there'd be more minutes for Moses out there right now, and I've always thought, just even the way he played at Arkansas, that he would really turn into a very good professional, and I think he landed with the right team to be able to just simmer and marinate and not feel like he had to carry, or be the savior of a franchise. And I mean, I think he's going to have a very long NBA career. because even as a freshman at Arkansas in his one season, he just had that I don't know how to put it, just kind of a professional attitude. He just seemed like a pro player even as a college player, just did everything. So I'm excited for him for that. And then you got Nick Smith Jr. with Charlotte. And then there's Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams with Oklahoma City. And then, of course, Bobby Portis with Milwaukee. Am I forgetting anybody that's out there as far as Pro Hogs are concerned?
Ricky Council still going a little bit with the Sixers.
Stanley Amude was with the Pistons, I think, last year. I don't remember where he signed or if he did sign anywhere. That was also somebody that I think might get a little bit of run here and there. But,
Ricky Council, man, I joke a little bit with Tua about he should be our next flag. He should be when the Olympics come to town, he should be our quarterback. But like for real, that's what he should do. Instead of putting the helmet back on. Ricky Council, his game is set up to be a 3-on-3, like American, represent your country, be a 3-on-3 guy, uber athletic, can get his shot off against plays defense. Man, if you find a way to be able to represent your country here in 4 years, I don't know what hoops you got to go through or how you got to qualify, man. But if I was Ricky Council, I'd be putting me together a team.
I forgot about Daniel Gafford, who was
for the
right
Mavericks.
there in the finals with the Mavs. That's right, man. Did he come on with Dallas and get out of the basketball hell that is Washington D.C.?
Is that Lively as well? Him and Lively, the two young. They had another young power forward there that was a rookie that was playing a lot. C Maverick just left. He would have known who it was.
Oh, you would have had that at the top of his list. Yeah, Derek Lively. You're right. Out of Duke. That's right. Well, I mean, again, I mentioned these just because they're players that we're interested in, but it's not like I'm going to be turning on an NBA game anytime soon, or even on Christmas Day, because I'm watching the Chiefs and the Steelers on Christmas Day.
Who it's time for is Nick Smith Jr. Like if you're saying he's got one whole year under his belt. He's a uber scorer, just amazingly talented scorer. The thing is, who can he guard? He's little bitty. You got to be able to guard somebody. So if he, push-ups, you got to get stronger. It's a man's game at that level. But Nick Smith, if he's healthy, man, I think that's a guy that, and he's fortunate enough because that team's not expected to win a lot of games in a way where he can develop and kind of be a guy and maybe play 28 minutes a game.
So Bronny plays today, right? I mean,
100%.
First game of the year, and he doesn't get
they're
out
selling.
there.
It's a bottom line thing.
It's a history thing too. I mean, it's like, all right, you got to take. Did they sell paper tickets for this game, or are we all just taking? Will they just take screenshots?
Do you think they'll swap jerseys after the game?
Yeah, does you get? I don't even know what number Bronny's wearing.
Rondo 9.
Okay. Well, I remember the Howe brothers played, I think, with Gordie Howe in the NHL, maybe for just a handful of games. It might have been in the World Hockey Association. So it happened in hockey first. Baseball, of course, had Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr., who, by the way, Matt, here's Ken Griffey Jr. He may be taking Sr. to the game today.
Chatted at all with LeBron about playing with Bronny? Has he asked your advice? Have you given some advice from your own experiences?
No, we haven't talked yet. I'm actually gonna go to the game. I'm gonna take my dad, first father and son, to play baseball now. First father and son to play basketball. So it's a big deal for my dad and I to be there. We made history. Now we get to watch history. So that's what's gonna be cool about it.
Ken Griffey Sr. was a really good baseball player, but Ken Griffey Jr. was the better of the two of them. Senior was an all-star. Junior's on the short list of greatest sluggers of all time. This is much more like the Gordie Howe with his sons kind of a situation, although there are folks that feel like Bronny is stealing a roster spot. Though I don't know if you can, view it in that sense necessarily. Who is he stealing it from? For me, it feels like it's the last player on the bench almost. I'm not sure if he's stealing it from somebody specifically that wouldn't just be a 10-day contract person anyway.
It's in his blood. I'm with you. I don't think he's stealing a spot from anybody. I mean, the kid is an athlete. So he's got it there. I don't expect too much. Baby Goat scores 100 points this season.
Or what about in his career?
Just this season.
This season? Under.
Does Baby Goat get to 100? I would think that's kind of part of it. Once you get to the regular season, does he start off 3 of 21 shooting? Like what is he going to be able to do? Because you talk about when I talk about Jordan Walsh, the thing about Bronny is little Goat is he'll know the offense. He'll know what to do. That helps. And spot up threes, play defense and cardio and hit your spot up threes because nobody's running a play for you.
I've also forgotten Anthony Black. We had a text out of the 918. Anthony Black, Orlando. Hey, he might have the best season of any of the rookies that were a Razorback from last year. He was fun to watch at Arkansas, and he was really good with Orlando last year. Yeah, Bronny, 100 points or less. I'd say fewer than 100 points.
Because
I just can't imagine he's going to be getting minutes that matter very much. But then again, if they're minutes that don't matter very much, maybe he can score a little easier.
Well, the thing you remember with the Laker team, Phil, is if they're down 18 in the fourth quarter, which that'll happen, they'll sit their starters and he might play. And the same thing if they get up on certain teams in the NBA, kind of how it's a game of runs. You could see stuff. The whole time restrictions or load management, whatever you want to say. I mean, really, how many games do you think LeBron can start this year? 65? How many games do you really want because you want him healthy in the playoff time? The Western Conference is tough. I'll tell you something. Lakers don't make the playoffs this year. That's what I'm telling you, that Lakers will not make the playoffs this year.
I think Bron goes out with a whimper, though I still don't know how much longer he plays. I know he's not the same guy from a few years ago, but he's still pretty good.
He is still pretty good. It's almost like you'd get LeBron ready and don't even play him in the first half. I just play him in the second half. Just have him go a little 8-minute spurt in the third quarter, get his 6 minutes rest, and then let's finish out the last 8 minutes in the fourth quarter. And you talk about you'd be able to get enough from him.
Now, here's an interesting point coming from Caleb in Pangburn. He says Bronny didn't even score 100 points in his college career, and he's not right about that. He scored 121 points in 25 games, so he averaged 4.8. So, Caleb, you came close, but you missed it by blackjack. He scored 100-plus blackjack in his college career. It still ain't great shakes for scoring, that's for sure. Quick break on halftime. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio is next. Stay with us.
This is halftime.
Building warriors.
Physical toughness and physicality matter more now than ever before.
Competing for each other.
You can care about the kids and still win.
Upholding the high standard.
Whatever we do, we'll have good people who are driven and wired, knowing that there's an expectation here and not being afraid of it.
This is one of those Razorback moments.
Follow John Calipari in Arkansas on the hardwood all season long.
Right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas Sports District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Bow season is underway, and Jelco Outdoors has all your archery and hunting equipment to help you bag that big buck. Select new compound bows by Bowtech, Elite, and Hoyt. Save $200 off. Beartech crossbow packages, now only $329.99. Save $200 off select Raven crossbows, clothing, boots, tree stands, saddle equipment, feeders, nut grub, and grunt calls. Jelco has it all for you. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. You may know me as your local dentist, but I'm a giant Hogs, Dolphins, and college baseball fan as well. Listen to me, Phil, and Matt talk about our 3 ups and downs for the weekend every Monday on halftime at 12:15. At River Valley Smile Center, we're a comprehensive dental facility that offers children's dentistry, dental implants, sedation, whitening, and much, much more. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cabe, and myself are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
See the vegetable man in the vegetable van with the horn that's honking like a mariachi band. In the middle of the street, people gather around. Put the water in the can. Hey, wait, on the TJ Cowboys hang around. Sleeping in the sidewalk with a Burger King crown. Never wake them up. Más cerveza to the rooster crows. Vatos vergallos.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Bill King hosts 6 to 9 in the mornings, Monday through Friday on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio, and he is the king of college football talk. We always appreciate some time with Bill King on these Tuesday afternoons. Bill, how you doing today? What's new?
Hey, boys. Always good to be with you.
Good to have you, my man. College football season really starting to take shape, isn't it, here? Matt asked earlier, one of our previous guests, who do you think are the top 3 teams in the SEC right now? Do you feel you have a sense of that now after 7 games, or do you still need some more time to figure that out?
Lots of fluidity, but if you said, Bill, you got to lock it down at the moment, Georgia's clearly number 1. After that, I may go LSU or A&M. Maybe those are the top 3. I don't think I'd put Tennessee in the top 3. I don't think I'd put Alabama in the top 3. And about 3-4 weeks ago, I thought Alabama was in the 1 slot. That's changed.
Bill, I'm with you. I think Georgia has clear ranks on number 1. Then Texas would be up there as well. But you brought it up. Hey, LSU goes to College Station to take on Texas A&M. Do you think there's any way that, because we didn't put any pressure on the LSU quarterback, he was comfortable the whole game. You think Elko is going to be able to kind of muck it up for him a little bit, or do you got LSU in this one?
It took me, guys, about 5 years to mentally get Nebraska in the Big Ten. Obviously, I've got the same problem with Texas there. I just can't – I haven't adapted to them being in the SEC. Yes, I think A&M is going to be a problem. Now, this is a good LSU team, and they're playing better defensively, much improved from a year ago, which was a concern, and they're starting to find their rhythm offensively. It was a little choppy there in the beginning, which could happen with your offense. But Nussmeier, those receivers,
running backs. That offensive line is physical. That is a very close game. But, yes, I think A&M can be very disruptive defensively.
I wonder how we talk so often about, you come into the SEC, change conferences, you're really not going to have very much success, but there are outliers to this. Oregon right now in their first year in the Big Ten, they're doing just fine. Texas, maybe they're finding that the schedule's tougher, but they seem to fit in the SEC right now. You think of Nebraska over in the Big Ten, obviously hasn't worked the way that they hoped it would. Penn State to the Big Ten did work initially, but they haven't reached that level of success for a while. Do you think Oklahoma will find themselves in the same situation that Nebraska is, changing into the SEC, because it just is not going very well for Brent Venables?
Gary Pinkel in Missouri won the East a couple times, very fast. Right. And now Georgia, Florida, we had some teams that weren't quite right, but they still did it early. Oklahoma has got to get their hire right. Brent Venables is not the right head coach for them. They erred on he's been here, he's one of our guys, let's go get him. That's not a good idea. Now, again, I was open-minded about it. I've shut the book on. They're not going to win under him. Last time they had to replace coaches after Switzer, they went with Gary Gibbs, they went with Stellenberger, and they went with John Blake. And they struck out all three times. They've got to get this next one. Whenever they decide they're going to do something, and it might not be this year, they've got to get the hire right. I think they've got a big problem in this league. I do. And I don't think it's going away.
Bill, there's a big one for the Hogs this week, and maybe not just in name on the marquee. I know we're going to Mississippi State, but it's a must-win game. We had this 3-game stretch, LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Can't go 0-3 in this stretch. What is something for people that, like myself, that haven't seen Mississippi State play this year? What does Mississippi State do well?
They will fight you. They have limited personnel, top to bottom, probably the worst team in the league, but they've hung around with some very difficult opponents. With Texas until the third quarter, they were down big to Georgia and then scored a bunch of points there. That's a pesky team, so they will fight you. Just because their season is going to look really ugly at the end of the year with a one-loss number, this team will keep fighting and will not lay down and give up. And I would say that's the most impressive part of this group. They got a long way to go in players, but they are a very, very, I'd say they act hungry as a football program right now.
Bill, Phil brought this stat up today, and we're kind of talking about how do we correct this. The Razorbacks have 16 fumbles already this year. How is that? Where do you? I don't even know how you get to a number that high with only 7 games.
Do they still, like in the old days, make you carry the football around campus all day and all night? You can't take it off your body, right? I don't know if they still do that. I don't know.
A little difficult when so many of your classes are virtual classes. Just sit there in your room with your football in your hands. That's right.
That's true. It's contagious. It really is. And yeah, I've seen things like that happen, and you can't really put a finger on it. I'm sure they're doing drills all the time in practice about ball security and high and tight and all those things you're taught in about 5th grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's contagious. And that's the only way to describe it. I don't think it's anything technical going on. Maybe sometimes. I mean, Matt, you were a big, long quarterback running around the open field. Did you hold the ball out there like a loaf, any?
It breaks your heart. We had DeBinion fumble one today, and I was telling Phil, I said, man, when you fumble a ball, you really feel like you let your teammates down, and the kids aren't trying to do it. But I'm with you, man. It breaks your heart when you do that. And somebody who I think has progressed each week is Taylon Green. I know he's a little banged up, but to me, he looks like he's getting better. Like maybe the game's slowing down, because we forget he's only started 4 SEC football games. What is kind of your mid-season grade on Taylon Green?
I'd give him probably a B-. I think he's been a threat when he's right. I think he's trying to figure it out. I'm like you. I thought early in the season he was impressive. He's making plays. He can make plays in a dual threat capacity, and I think the growth potential there is very, very good.
The only thing, and it's just like it's weird to think about this because I think in our minds we believe that this Arkansas offense is improved from last year, but you look at the scoring averages and really just not even just the scoring, offensive efficiency. They haven't been a very efficient offense. And I wonder sometimes if some of this also can go to where they're getting the ball to start the drive and routinely. Like, I'd have to look this up. I'd be hard-pressed to find another team in the SEC that has worse average starting line for their possessions this year. Defense hasn't given them the short field very often. Offense has ended up with the opposing offenses have ended up with a short field because of where some of these turnovers have occurred. So, we thought that bringing in Bobby Petrino would all of a sudden just like add 7 or 8 points. We even talked about that with you, I think, one time too. But man, I almost feel like the defense has to help the offense out a little bit. They have not had a short field very often. This would be a prime example of like, just look what LSU did. They had a 2-yard field on Weeks' interception. You got to score with that. I don't think the Hogs have had one of those at all this year.
Yeah, it's tough. When you're dealing with large chunks of real estate and you're kind of breaking in an offense, right? You're trying to adapt and discover yourself offensively again. That's very, very difficult. That'd be good to see that stat. I haven't seen it either, but what's their average start when it comes to the line of scrimmage in a drive? Probably poor.
Well, now I know what I'm doing with the rest of my afternoon. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, Bill, you got Junkins broke his hand. I believe. I know Ohio State has. I think one of the best groups of backs, and their top 2 running backs are pretty solid.
They did just lose their left tackle for the season, man.
Yeah, I was wondering. Do you think Nebraska's a tough physical team? Are you worried if you're Ohio State this week?
Don't think so. I think they're pretty ticked off. They really wanted to play this last week. Coming off a loss like that, and then you got to sit is very difficult.
Yeah.
I think they're hungry. Nebraska just got absolutely annihilated by a very good IU team. No, I don't. I think the Buckeyes are ready to go. Travion Henderson is a 5-star running back from about 3 recruiting classes. He's had a really good career there. They're fine at running back.
Is Signetti long for Indiana? He's now the hot name, because I think not just because of the record there, but also his personality and the whole, I win, Google me kind of thing. Do you think he stays in Bloomington very long?
His buyout is $8 million, which in this day and time is crumbs under the sofa, right? There's $8 million under the sofa we can go grab. He's 63, and he's definitely not old, but that's not you're in your early 40s either. And I don't know if he likes the comfort and the safety of being there. The question is, what is your calculation on maintaining a certain level? They're very good. They also have probably a fortunate schedule, but I don't want to knock them. They are a really well-coached, good team. But I just don't know what his future is time-wise. I don't know in his mind, does he want to relocate again? What if Florida calls? And he was once on the Alabama staff. Early Nick Saban years, he was part of a couple national championships. This guy knows what it's like to be at a brand. But I just don't know what his thinking is about the future and he's not a young guy trying to climb the ladder, right? It's a little different.
Hey, Bill, former Arkansas head coach Brett Bielema has Illinois rocking and rolling right now. They travel to Oregon, top 25 matchup. Is there what is he doing so well at Illinois? How are they able to have this success and get off to this 6-1 start this year?
It's his blueprint, and it's physical lines of scrimmage, physical running game. That's what he's all about. And it worked wonderfully at Wisconsin. It's a blueprint that works at Illinois. And there's a lot of talent in that state. Now, they don't own the state. Nobody really owns Chicago, but they've got a solid team that's very physical. I don't give them much of a shot against the Duckies unless the Duckies are too happy with themselves. But that's a well-coached football team. It's interesting to see. I sat there. I had to go to the Big Ten meeting there for years in the summer in July. And during that time at Wisconsin, he was very highly thought of then, too. He competed for Rose Bowls.
Bill, I think you've told me this before. How many games do you have on at once when you're watching on Saturdays?
My max, if I'm going to stay alert, is 5. Now, I will keep an eye on other things and have some highlights going, but I've learned you figure out your setup, right? And if I get too much more busy than that, everything becomes a big giant blob. So about 5.
I would say I still can't watch 2 games at once. I have to flip back and forth between them. How long did it take to where you could actually like be able to focus on what's happening in these games with so many going on at the same time?
I don't know. It was just one day. That was the setup. I'm not sure. It happened organically, right? I didn't really. And the other thing is, if you get YouTube, they also have the quadrant thing. And if you get a big enough TV, it'll have them all on one screen for you, which is wonderful. I just tell your sales department to invoice YouTube for that.
Oh, I already write it off my taxes. You bet your bottom dollar about that. Bill, we'll leave it there. Always appreciate these visits. Thanks for your time.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Bill.
guys.
It's Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio. It's the pleasures of being a contractor, right, Matt? We can write everything off.
1099. Yeah.
Every piece of paper, I've got my box scores on here.
We're like a college athlete.
Even my coffee.
We didn't get him on the. We didn't ask him about the Alabama game this week. Coming off that loss, I wonder
Mizzou.
if. Yeah, I was going to get him. Does he give Missouri any of a chance? Because it's kind of Alabama's about to just. That's it. If they lose this game, I mean, it'd be crazy down there in Tuscaloosa.
With the issues Alabama's had defensively against teams like Vandy, South Carolina, Georgia too, and Tennessee in the second half, you watch for Mizzou against them.
That's what
if
I'm
Cook
saying.
Is healthy, absolutely.
Yeah.
They do have an offense that can get going on you pretty quickly. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. Stay with us. It's the home stretch, and we're right back after this.
Pain don't hurt. This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text REP to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total. REP to 321321.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Life.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine. On North 11th Street is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, we're big rock singers, we got golden fingers, and we're loved everywhere we go. We sing about beauty and we sing about truth at $10,000 a show. We take all kind of pills to give us all kind of thrills, but the thrill we've never known. It's the thrill that'll get you when you get your picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone, wanna see my picture on the cover of Stone. Wanna buy my copies for my mother. Stone, wanna see my smiling face on the cover of the Rolling Stone.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
There's a very good reason why we choose the Rolling Stones song here for this segment, because Charlie has called us. Matt, why do you play that song for Charlie?
He's just like a rock star. He doesn't ever show up on time anymore. It's all about whatever time he wants. He's on his rock star lifestyle.
Charlie, we would have accepted a late phone call yesterday since it was your birthday, but today's the day after, and you're
Happy
just not-
birthday.
Do you do the birthday special with the glow a week before and a week after? So do we have to treat you special today?
No, actually, Phil, no, man. I got showered Friday at work yesterday.
Showered?
Come on, man. With gifts and stuff, man. You
Oh,
know?
okay, just like that. One of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I got pretty. They gave me a lot of things, but at the same time, like I'm not one to gloat or ask or do all that. You know, they just kind of do their thing, and I'm
You're a very humble fish,
you know?
that's for sure.
I'm a very humble fish, as you say. And yesterday, you know, I was still, I didn't take, you know, I know I kind of took a day off from my daily job of calling, you know, but I was still listening to you guys. I heard a lot. So it was a good day all in all. I took a day off from work and just kind of chilled. I was recovering from Saturday, Phil. Let's just put it that way. I had a little fun on Saturday, but I am good now. So how's everything going with you guys?
We're great. We're
Matt,
great.
you-
Just doing radio today. Yeah. But this is your segment. You get to choose what you want to talk about. Go for it.
Well, you know, I was thinking, you know, the game the other day. I know yesterday people probably were frustrated, but I actually, for whatever reason, guys, Saturday was not as frustrated because it wasn't like the Oklahoma State game where I felt like we were just better and we beat ourselves. I think more than anything in that second half, especially, I think LSU just kind of took over the game. And number 40, that dude's a stud, man. I'm sure you commented on his.
He's playing on Sundays.
performance. Absolutely. I mean, and the fact that there's no doubt. I mean, he reminds me of, and I'm sounding like you because you said But he reminds me somewhat. Now he plays in the middle a little bit, right? So, but he kind of, I don't know if he's Luke Kuechly-esque, but I mean he's just to be. Maybe I'm giving him that comparison because I don't mean to sound like it, but he's a white guy and he's a linebacker. He's so athletic, and he jumped up there and he made that play, and I'm like, wow, that dude's that big and he can do that. So, just from a talent standpoint, I know LSU was a little bit more talented than us, and I thought Taylor Green played a good game for the most part. I know that interception he would like to have back. Let me ask you, though, Matt, in a situation like that, when you got two guys kind of running at you full speed, I know it was said that maybe we should have handed it off as well, but when you make that decision to pull that down and throw that ball, is there something that he could have just maybe, a lot of people talk about arm angle and side arming it and stuff like that. How hard is it to kind of train your brain as a quarterback when you're already being drilled pretty hard? We know he's being drilled hard on his footwork and doing things the right way. So to get that ball over Weeks right there, I don't know what he could have done, really. Maybe he should have just took the sack. It's tough. That's a split-second decision. I thought the Dubinion fumble hurted. I said hurted. That's not even a word. But I thought that hurt more. To me, even though they scored on the one down there, because Dubinion's fumble I think was off like a 15-yard run, wasn't it, Phil? When he took that ball,
it looked like he was
like,
just short of a first down. I think just around the first down mark. It was about 9 or 10, I think. But yeah, I think it was also the most successful run of the game for a running back for Arkansas.
That's what I was going to say. That's like one of the better runs they had the entire game because they were really struggling to run the football, and that's been an issue in SEC play. For whatever reason, I think part of it is because teams kind of have figured out that's we're not, when you put everybody up there, we're struggling a bit. But I thought Taylor did a really good job. I do. Other than that, you could say that play there. But there's also with Nussmeier, man, he gets the ball out. I thought that a lot of people were going after the defense a bit. I just think as a defense, you can't stop everything. And to me, they did a good job when it mattered. They held them to 3. You would have liked them to maybe take the ball away or two a couple times there off them tip passes. But other than that, man, I thought the defense played well considering the situations they were in. And Landon Jackson did a good job, too, against an elite left tackle. So, anyway, I'm also excited about tonight, guys. Matt, just the history of LeBron and Bronny playing together. Might be one of the only regular season games I watch because I don't watch much regular season NBA basketball. But anyways, y'all have a good one.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. Appreciate your time. 877-377-6963. Defensively, I thought they played well enough. You hold LSU to 34 points, you'd think you should win that game. But if LSU has scored 34, they've won every game they've played this year. You just need to get the ball back. You need 3 and out from their own 25. You need a fumble recovery. You need an interception. You need a short field. And it's I don't think this is necessarily an Arkansas offense that has to have the 50-yard or 60-yard field every time. It's just they haven't had that much at all. Matt, that is something I'll do. Once we're done here, it's like I almost feel like Bill King assigned it to me. Find out what Arkansas's average starting yard line for possessions this year, and I will bet you.
Well, see, we gave A&M
30.
Well, we gave A&M a short field. I mean, where they have like a 14-yard. I'm trying to think of if we did that to Auburn. I know we did it to Oklahoma State because they actually ran it back pick 6 style. So that's 3. That's 3 right there that you've giving the other team doing that, and maybe it comes back to the average. Maybe we hold on to the ball, and maybe these last couple games we cause some turnovers. But if you're not getting to the quarterback to put pressure on him, he's not going to throw it to you. That's kind of part of it. If he's back there and has a clean jersey, he's not going to throw it to you. And we got lucky, I think, playing some of those freshman quarterbacks that are learning. Auburn didn't have a good dude, and did we picked off the guy at A&M? I think.
Was it A&M or that's the one? Was that the one turnover?
We picked off
Arkansas
Oklahoma
caused in a
State,
loss?
and then it was right at the end of the half, and so we didn't score any points off of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 34-0 in points off turnovers in losses. That's That's got to change. You know, I mean, if Arkansas even scores a single point off of a turnover, you would think they're going to win the game or, you know, any kind of defensive point. But here's some rankings just against SEC teams relative to the rest of the league. Arkansas has the third lowest scoring offense against SEC teams, has the sixth lowest yards per game, third lowest rushing attack, and they're right in the middle of the pack in passing. Those are SEC versus SEC teams. It's like, so look, these will have to improve. You're going to have to score in the 20s to win SEC games. I don't because we're lucky to win a game against Tennessee scoring 19, but I don't think this is a league or a sport necessarily where it's like the NFL. I mean, you get a lot of games that finish in the high teens and you're happy with it. I don't think the SEC right now is that. Even I think scoring feels like it's down in the league this year, but you still have to get into the 20s, and it's 3 games in a row that they haven't. I think they're going to have to score at least 24 against Mississippi State. I think the Bulldogs will score a little bit against them.
I'd like to see us run the ball more in the red zone, and I'd like to see us try to throw it to our tight end in the red zone. I think these are areas where we could be beneficial. We could get that's what your tight end's for. I mean, they're supposed to be a red zone machine, and so if we can run the ball, 40 carries this game, non-quarterback carries, and when you get into the red zone, where's that matchup on tight end on a safety? Where that should be advantage Arkansas.
I think we've been wondering that for a while. Really for a while. Today is day 22 of 55 straight days with football on television. It's kind of a terrible Tuesday with Conference USA football taking the stage. Sam Houston at Florida International. It's a 5-2 Bearcats team, 2-5 for the Panthers. UTEP and La Tech combining for a 3-10 record. Though the Hogs do play La Tech later on this year, so who knows? Maybe you want to get a look at that. They have the best odds on those games on BetSarazin. It is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Want to put a little action on everything going on in the world of sports right now. Think about what's going on. NFL full swing. College football, you're at the midseason point. NHL has gotten underway. NBA basketball opening day is tonight. And, of course, you got the World Series starting on Friday. And college basketball is less than 2 weeks away. Download BetSarazin. Works on your iPhone. Just download from the App Store. Android users download from Google Play, but you can always log in on any web browser. That's betsarazin.com. One segment left. It's 877-377-6963. Get with us or don't, and we'll wrap it up after the break.
It makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. This is halftime.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In-Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In-Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In-Stock Parts.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3010 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Baby, when I think about you, think about love. Don't live without you and your love. If I had those golden dreams of my yesterday, I would wrap you in the heaven, dying on the way. Feel like making.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
St. Louis Cardinals made some additions to the coaching staff. Brant Brown will be their hitting coach, coming over from the Mariners. He was the bench coach last year. John Jay will join the staff in an unspecified role. And
MOC.
It'll be the MOC. The Cardinals do need a minister of culture these days because it's not quite the Cardinal way, the way it used to be. Stubby Clapp will stick around as first base coach, and Ron Warner will still be the third base coach. I still can't look at that name as Ron. I remember him as Pop Warner when he was the manager of the Springfield Cardinals, but I guess once you go to the big leagues, you lose the Pop nickname. $1,300 World Series tickets on StubHub for Friday's opener at Dodger Stadium, Matt. That's more than twice what the average get-in rate on StubHub was last year for, I forget where the opener was, either Arlington or in Arizona. I'm actually pretty excited about this World Series matchup. I think it'll be a really great series, and I don't mind that it's the two big market teams because you got stars who have never played in this at this round of the postseason before. And I'm excited to see how they get it done. I know it's Friday, so there's a lot more time between now and then, but I'm not going to be one of these small market fans that looks at it and says, I'm not going to watch it and I hate it. Because I feel like you could be critical of any World Series matchup if you really wanted to, just as long as it's not your team.
Love the theatrics. Love the drama. I'm rooting for a saga.
You're being like me. You want to root for 7 games and 12 innings in the 7th game? That ain't gonna happen.
Over under Shohei Ohtani 2.5 home runs.
Does a double count as half a home run then? Can I go in that direction? Probably not. Doesn't work like that. It's crazy. He's hitting like 818 with a runner at second or third base. I don't think he has a single hit with nobody on base. You put a man at second or third, and he's the best hitter of the postseason. So maybe it rests on the laurels of the bottom of the Dodger batting order getting on in front of him, because I don't think they're moving him down the batting order. Robert's already said they're not going to do that.
Give me one guy, Phil, from each team that you think could win the most valuable player. Do they do that in baseball?
Oh, yeah. They have it for the World Series, yeah.
Who do you think wins it?
Well, Giancarlo Stanton was ALCS MVP.
Okay.
Tommy Edman for the Dodgers. That had to really hurt Cardinal fans with that. But I'd say Mookie Betts on the Dodgers side. And on the Yankees side, I guess I'd go with
snaps
Stanton.
at it? Yeah.
I don't know. Stanton's the one right now that you really just have to stay away from. So but watch out for Garrett Cole. I think the starting pitching ends up becoming a major aspect of this. And if Cole's rolling, I think
he could get 3 dubs. Yeah,
he very well could.
Yeah.
So maybe Garrett Cole as like an underdog for World Series MVP. Chris in Springdale says, go Yankees. Me and Matt just say go baseball in this sense. 7 games, 12 innings. It's just the Dodgers don't have the pitching, I think, to force that.
Let's go. We got Champions League today and tomorrow, and then baseball Friday, man. Let's go baseball.
Who's in the Champions League today? Who are you watching?
Oh, I think Villa play here in a little bit. Real Madrid play Dortmund. Arsenal plays. There's a handful of games going on.
Is that Clasico coming up anytime soon? I saw the commercial for it.
Yeah, I don't watch La Liga as much anymore with my YouTube TV. You got to have the ESPN stuff to get La Liga. But the Clasico, I'll get it on the Spanish channel. So, I'll watch it. I just turn it down a little bit.
Can you be like Bill King and have 5 soccer games on at once?
One at a time, man. I like my football and my soccer like I like my basketball, one-on-one.
I can't even watch the multi-view on YouTube TV, which I think is a great idea. It's just I don't have the brain power to be able to watch all those things at once. I barely have enough brain power to host a 3-hour radio show, for crying out loud. Thanks for listening to Halftime today. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast has everything that you missed, including our conversations with Bill King and Alyssa Orange, and Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a few minutes. They'll take you up until 7 o'clock. We're with you tomorrow for another award-winning edition of Halftime. Grant Hall and Clay Henry will be our guests. So for Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston, and Colton Little, I'm Phil Elson. Thanks for listening to Halftime today. Now get up, get out, and get better.
Cobb CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration